maybe. I mean, like I say, those could be crystals that they have already discovered, or they could represent the crystals that they're talking about here that they don't know of, that they're speculating might exist. So, you know, whatever you want it to be at any moment, really, for your speculation, I would say.
He mentions the Titan Forge making the core way. Did you know it was built to study the world soul?
I mean, I feel like we kind of knew that already. So, yeah.
We were created for the great purpose of serving the Titans, and thus we built it. Its purpose was irrelevant.
Surprising we're waiting this long for a healer.
We fulfilled our edicts dependably, and we have strived to do
Poor resto druids, clearly not getting the invite.
so throughout the millennium.
Oh, hey, he took off his jumper. When did he do that?
Even joking, that's like literally what it is. There were 3 other uncut gems around.
I love it. He's wearing a Protect Trans Kids shirt. God damn it, Tally. You are just the coolest motherfucker.
The crystals that they're talking about here that they don't know of, that they're speculating might exist. So, you know, whatever you want it to be at any moment, really, for your speculation, I would say.
He mentions the Titan Forge making the core way. Did you know it was built to study the world soul?
I mean, I feel like we kind of knew that already. So, yeah.
We were created for the great purpose of serving the Titans, and thus we built it. Its purpose was irrelevant to us. We fulfilled our edicts dependably, and we have strived to do so throughout the millennia. Despite Kaz Algar facing many setbacks.
And this is great too. I like this stuff.
What do you mean?
Long ago, the continents of the world split apart, and the machinery that powered our facility was damaged, cut off from the manifold. We were unable to repair the connection. We operated on auxiliary power for a time, but eventually it ran out, and we fell into disarray.
No, this is not the PTR
That
sandwich.
must have been the Sundering. It's miraculous that any of this survived intact.
So it's great, like the Sundering, and we've talked about the Sundering a lot before. Like, did the Sundering affect Kaz Algar? And it did, yeah. It didn't necessarily change the topography of Kaz Algar, though I think it did a little bit. There are bits underwater in Kaz Algar that look like they would have been above water before the Sundering. And we know that the Sundering, like, cut them. What's interesting is that they cut them off from, like, the manifold, which is probably what led to them
It's Bernard.
Unbound forsaking
Bernard
their
is
edicts, the
here.
Titans at one point trying to wipe them out. I think we can gather the evidence from around Kaz Algar that at one point the decision was made that the Watchers were going to be like, we're going to wipe the Earth out. And they were stopped from doing that. So I think we'll probably learn more about that later on as well. Yeah. Yeah, some of this is like just filling in or reiterating stuff that we already knew. The main takeaway from all of this is definitely that Beladar would certainly seem to be, in the Titans' opinion, the calcified essence of Azeroth. Like Azerite, but not Azerite. Let's ignore my theory for a moment about what it actually is. That whole like Azeroth but not Azeroth thing, that's, oh my god, that's so interesting because, yeah, these bits of calcified essence are yellow, like the light. And these are ones they discovered when they first got there. But now, Azerite is yellow and blue.
He's saying what I said.
Light and arcane.
He's saying what I
See what I'm getting at
said.
here? When they, let's say this literally is just the calcified essence of Azeroth, i.e. Azerite. Why doesn't it look like Azerite? Well, because there was no arcane influence on it then.
Yeah.
It was just light. So Azerite was just light.
Great
colored.
minds think alike.
But since then, there's been lots of arcane influence on the world soul. So now Azerite is yellow and blue. But still only half yellow and half blue. And if Beladar is an old chunk of Azerite, as the Titans are suggesting, it's probably quite concerning that it sometimes turns to void. Like, if the light influence on the world soul sometimes turns to void, that should be very concerning.
We've got our healer, we
well,
do.
The Titans got there, clearly. And
now we off to
Maybe
Grimbatol, we
it is a
are.
being of the light in the
Man,
first
that-
place.
that British
Maybe
accent
the
is
light got there
bad.
before
That's
the
a
Black,
bad
the Black
one, dude.
Empire and influenced it first. And the world soul of Eonar was green and blue for life and arcane, guys. Yeah, if
We're
if
cooking.
the Titans are right,
We're
and
cooking up
Beladar
something.
is just a big chunk of old Azerite. It's all light colored, and the blue came later after the Titan influence.
We're out here
which would
cooking.
suggest that at this stage, when this piece of Azerite was created, and don't forget, this piece of Azerite could have been created before the Black Empire got there. So it could be that either the light was influencing Azeroth before the Black Empire got there, or it could be that Azeroth is simply a light being to begin with. Either one of those things could be true for it to create a large chunk of Azerite, which is just made of light, basically, which it would seem to be. And yeah, Azerite now is gold and blue because it's got the Titan influence on it, but also that old chunk of Azerite in the middle of Hallowfall does sometimes
Alright.
turn to void, and maybe that's a representation.
Here's a
of the
novel
Black Empire's
idea.
influence on the world. So,
Here's a novel
yeah,
idea. Let's
what
try
Schwarzenegger
timing a
mentions, Bella doesn't
Grimbatol.
share a color, they
I
fight
don't
for
even
whole
want the
crystal. Yeah,
trinket.
but that's
Yeah, that's right. I don't even want the trinket. Let's just try timing it.
in keeping with how the light works when it comes to Naru and things like that. Naru go through a light and dark cycle. So that could be just a natural occurrence of it being a chunk of light forged Azerite, as it were. Or it could be a later influence from the Void and the Black Empire on it. I
We
wonder.
caught a body.
I don't know.
Watch your step.
I wonder. There's no arcane in the chunk. Why is the void relevant then? Well, because the Titans would have got there after both the light and the void.
Yeah,
If
because
this
the
is a
planet
chunk
was
of-
fucking chock-a-block with
if this
old
is a
gods,
chunk
dude.
of Azerite from before the Titans got there, and they discovered it after they got there, so that would suggest it is. Then either Azeroth was influenced by the light before or during the Black Empire, or it was a light being in the first place. It just started turning to void after the sword pierced Azeroth. For the Arathi it did,
Watch your step.
but they've only been there 16 years. So that was definitely a trigger, but
Oh,
I think it's probably dangerous
Azeroth
to
got
assume it never
triggered,
changed before that. We
dude.
can't say either way, but it's quite possible that it changed in the tens of thousands of years.
Okay, this tank's actually got
since
some
it was
chest
formed.
hair. This tank is
'Cause it was
chain
formed before
pulling.
the Titans got there.
This tank is mewing.
So it's at least as
This
old
tank
as the
is
Black
Chad
Empire.
maxing.
Watch your step.
Probably older, isn't it? Let's be
I'm
real.
all about
Yeah.
this
We
tank.
do
This
see
tank's
view
the
of Lord
goat.
God reaching out for the crystal in the city. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, completely. It could also just mean that Azeroth was from the beginning a pure being. Gold does not have to mean light. It does not have to mean light, but if Beladar is indeed a chunk of Azerite, it's got light coming out of it. It's got like light energy coming out of it.
It
The
is-
Arathi
it is
recognize
emanating
light energy when they, feel it. Anduin recognizes light energy when they feel it. Like, they use the light's power. They are
Watch your
paladins.
step.
Like, that shit is light. You know? When does Illidan come back? Last Titan, you know that.
Yeah, last Titan.
Watch your step.
Perhaps the sword released a
Maybe
pocket of black
Illidan
blood, and
is
that's what
the
we should
last
think about Crystal
Titan,
to the
as
Void every
somebody
so
in the
often. Yeah,
chat
could be.
suggested at some point.
Could be, yeah. Could be a radiant song,
Watch
not a
your
golden song. You might want to ask priests what damage they do with their light powers, mate. I think it's a spaceship with a Naru in it. It reminds me too much of Oshugun, Genadar, and the Ethereals. I mean, it does look like that, sure, yeah. Yeah. The light does radiant damage, so the radiant song would.
I'm glad the
absolutely suggest
spaceship
that
theory
it's
still
light
has some shooters.
adjacent. Yeah.
Let's keep that up, guys.
Mind you, the radiant song is just what they're calling it. So yeah, from what I gather from this is that either Azeroth is a being of light originally, or it has been influenced by the light at some point in its history and life, in the same way that it's been influenced by the Void and now the Titans. Do you think that's fair to say?
What a good video. Is this a new Delados of Boy Boy? Yeah, this is
So
this is
pissed off
from
as a
earlier today.
because it was so hard to fucking do war crimes, let alone do them at.
I'm so glad Alexa basically discovered he enjoys streaming from going on Hassan's stream, because I feel like there would never be a Boy Boy stream and we wouldn't get nearly as much Alexa content as we're getting if he hadn't have just gone over to Hassan's house and found that he enjoyed being on stream.
Enrage.
And now we get even more Boy Boy content, which we're all the richer for.
The UN. Impossible.
Yeah.
It's just. I would like equal opportunity for war crimes. I don't like this favoritism.
Yeah. Hey guys, the concept of war crimes, that's there solely to punish the global south and keep the various people that we've enslaved over the last 200 years under our thumb. They are by no means to be used against any of the sanctified nations of the West.
Enrage. Watch your step.
Okay. Read the U.S. intelligence reports the media won't publish. So there was a
Ooh.
leak.
Yeah.
There was a leak.
Kenny
You know all about
Clips.
this.
Oh, no, I don't. Tell me all about
No,
it.
Kenny
I don't know anything
Clips.
about it. You probably know more. So yeah, there was a leak, and mainstream media isn't really reporting on it.
Kenny
So our old
Clips.
mate N. Klippenstein is like writing about it. So we're going to learn what's happening. Apparently, it's like the U.S. is aware of some pretty hectic Israeli plans or potential plans. Let's go through it. Asked if he knew what Israel would do to Iran when President Biden Biden's on Friday was terse. Yes and yes. Yes, because Netanyahu told him in the strictest confidences. Yes, because the United States is a high-level spy in Israel's ranks. Yes, because the U.S. picked up a crucial telephone conversation or intercepted the order as it was transmitted via email. Yes, because all these reasons and more. So they know what's going on, which is hilarious looking at the fact that like the Democrats are in power and they're like, oh man. they're
Oh,
gonna do
someone's
this
got to
thing. It's
stop
like-
this thing
We know.
that's
We know what's
happening
gonna
while
happen.
we're in power,
Let's not pretend
dude.
That they're
Someone's got to do
the
something,
United States
bro.
aggressively spies on Israel because as Ronald Reagan
Yeah, this is like when I sleep in, even though I know I shouldn't. Like, oh, someone's got to do something about this, bro.
once said, trust but verify.
Incoming.
Well, and Israel does the same.
Yeah.
Israel
Well,
flies sleeps on the US.
Well, it's every country.
Yeah.
The US just kind of gets to be a little bit more.
Oh, and if you're wondering who's this guy, that's not Alex here speaking with Alexa. Is this somebody also named Alex? No, that'd be perfect. But I believe his name is Murat, much like the brother of a famous Twitch streamer.
More laissez-faire, no, blasé, cavalier. Could they get to be a bit more cavalier?
That was a wonderful escalation of terms.
Yeah, we
Could
just
be
kind
more
of
cavalier about it.
walked down the road of the
They
various
get to be
terms.
blasé. Hell, cavalier.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, very good. You always rule
I'm going to use my
Yeah,
turtle, because I'm not sure
they're
I can
doing
make it
to
without
fucking everyone, all their
dying.
friends, and like in really aggressive, intense ways. Like,
Yeah,
they were
we did
bugging
catch some
fucking
bodies
EU
there.
Parliament on shit. Like they were bugging
That's
the Germans. That came
unfortunate.
out a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
No, they're bugging Angela Merkel.
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking
What's funny is I did
really
actually have
intense stuff,
time.
but they get away with it 'cause
I
of the
could have
religious
actually
structures
made
as well.
it.
The extent of that spying is revealed in a pair of highly classified U.S. intelligence reports
I
published
could have
below.
actually made
They
it.
first circulated on social media this week, and they provide extraordinary insight into how closely the U.S. is monitoring Israel amid a
So this
particularly
is
fraught moment.
amazing. So I was reading about the leak. I was reading in the Guardian.
Oh, man, dude.
Oh yeah.
And they were chiefly
is,
talking about the concerns about the
little
security.
fuck.
Leave now.
It's
always do that.
Incredible.
Everyone.
How can as a journalist, how can you parrot that bullshit?
It's so
You're
annoying.
like, oh yes, we're all about.
Let me tell you about a little thing called manufacturing consent. Let me tell you a little thing about the media elite and privileged access. Let me tell you a little thing about manufacturing consent, my friend.
Fourth estate, it's really concerning that we know things.
You know how like
it's really concerning the national interest and like the national security is actually being undermined.
And and right now they're talking about flak. They're talking about the flak machine going to war against information that's inconvenient to their paymasters.
Leaks. It's like,
Which are the capitalists that own them, by the way, not Jews or anyone like
it's so
that.
insane. Yeah, the only article, I didn't see the
Stupid
Guardian
like
one. The only
that.
article I saw was
It's
probably
just capitalists, dude.
I don't know. I'm gonna make it up. MSNBC or some kind of like vaguely lib U.S. publication.
Nothing Christian or Jewish or
it was
Muslim
mainly
about it. Nothing
it was
black
anything
or
about
white
what was in the
about it.
leaks.
It's just
But it
capital,
was mainly
dude. It's
reporting
just
on the
green.
White House saying that it was inconsequential. So it's just like, what? There's
There is a leak. It
There's a
doesn't
leak. Don't
matter.
worry about it.
It's concerning someone spread it anyway, though.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
concerning
yeah.
that there's.
No, it's
not enough
concerning.
discriminant ranks.
Yeah.
This
But
is
it
my
doesn't
concern
matter what
face.
It's happened so much. That's what fucking killed me in the. I remember watching the presidential debate with Trump and Hillary. This isn't the media, but it's kind of like it's. Trump was like grilling her about her emails, right?
Yep.
And there's so much stuff in the emails.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of pretty hectic stuff with like ramifications for like whatever the fucking American security state and all these different things. And the line of attack was that this person isn't qualified enough. Like they can't handle their emails. They don't store them properly. And it's just like, that's not important.
No.
That doesn't matter at all. I don't care. I don't care what you do with your emails. I want to know what's in there. And you have, if you're a politician who's competing with her, you should be like, look at all these horrible things.
Yes.
But no, it's because you want to do exactly those horrible things. You love those horrible things. So you're going to focus on the fact that she didn't fucking store it properly, and also not storing it properly.
Eat 'em up, Alexa.
It's not like she's negligent. She's running a fucking side hustle.
Exactly. This is very shady shit.
Very shady and very qualified.
Yeah.
Like she is like running it like so tight. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. I hate it. It's like if this was a normal system where there are two politicians going against each other, you'd be like, oh, look at what she's doing with security state behind your back. Look at what she's doing in fucking Benghazi. Look what she's doing in all these places. And like the same thing, I mean, well, yeah, well, I don't know. Actually, I don't know nothing about the Trump keeping his documents in Mar-a-Lago.
One of my favorite political jokes that's really dumb but really effective. Who is Benghazi? This is a real banger from back in 2016. Everyone's talking about this Benghazi guy. Who is Benghazi?
I don't see. It's funny because it's
Really
it's
stupid
on the
stuff. I
but,
love
like,
it.
I don't know what the. Did
Who
we get
the
those
fuck is
documents?
this
No.
Benghazi guy,
Did they
dude?
publish them? No, did we?
What did he do? Why is everyone pissed off at him?
That was the problem. They were classified documents, and he had taken classified documents.
So,
the FBI raided to keep them classified. That was the problem,
not
that they were
sure.
classified documents.
Yeah.
And I think, but as a president, you can unclassify things as well. Like you can just say no. This is
We're
Well, that's the best
running
way
out
to
of
get out of it.
room, I
So,
fear.
like what classified documents?
yeah.
We all know about the
but
aliens
he didn't,
now.
He apparently didn't declassify. Thank you.
What do you say?
I said unclassify. I think.
That's the Australian way to say it. Showing them to Kid Rock. That's so fucking cool.
Yeah. So what?
I'm
he
gonna
just had to go
die?
through the proper
No, I'm gonna live.
Yeah.
Oh, but they
process.
died.
Allowed to
Oh no,
declassify things.
Yeah, but I guess
they
that is the
died.
process.
Yeah, but he didn't do it right.
That's what I hate about fucking libs when they pull them up on that stuff. It's just like fucking everyone's doing it, and it's also like, again, anything that any document being declassified, great.
But that's the thing. It's so
I'm gonna
lame to
die,
go
I'm
after
afraid.
him on that.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, sure, you shouldn't be like
Yeah.
taking documents.
Nothing
but
I could
also
do
it's like,
about that.
Why are we now cheering the FBI locking these documents back up? Why? I don't want my well, it's not my government.
Well, it
I
is.
wouldn't
Concerning.
in a sense.
want- yeah, sure. But it's like I wouldn't want my.
Concerning.
Like, I think freedom of information is a very good thing.
Yeah.
There should be very, very few circumstances where things should be kept from the public. Like, I
All right, we
can't
did
think
it.
of
Love
very,
it.
Very few.
Yeah, doing it on like a clerical error, like he took them, but which he could have done if he did this, if he filled out form like 115B. It's just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'd like to read them.
I'm sure. But that's the other thing. Is like, someone said he didn't he want to declassify Kennedy stuff. He did talk about doing that, but he says a lot of shit.
He's such a piece of shit.
He is a
someone
shit
worried.
talker.
The documents that he had as well were like the Kennedy and 9/11 thing.
No, but also, like-
very interesting stuff. It's probably shit about. I think people were saying it was nuclear shit.
Yeah.
And the fact is I can tell you exactly why Trump didn't declassify that stuff, and it's the same reason why he kept all those classified papers at Mar-a-Lago. He likes knowing secret shit. He likes being able to bust that shit out when glad handing people he wants money from. That's how Kid Rock saw fucking state secrets. Because Donald Trump wanted to be like, hey, Kid Rock, check out what I know about Iran. And it's like, really, bro? But that's why he didn't declassify that shit. He wanted to find out what was going on, and he did. And now he likes to have that privileged information.
Yeah.
Saudis.
And why wouldn't
It's like
he?
the other stuff on voting and
It's
stuff like that.
completely
It's just
congruous
like,
with everything we
why
know
would
about
cheat
the man.
government clamping down on protecting the documents.
But also, I feel like the whole document thing is like a PR thing for him because I don't know.
Bro,
With a lot of presidents,
stop
with him
fucking
specifically,
sucking me
I got
off,
the vibe
dude.
he
Come
don't
on,
actually read
man.
stuff, you know,
Come
like,
on, man.
can
I'm
he
trying to pump
read?
here.
Does he-
Come on.
No, I'm sure he can read, but does he care?
Yeah.
Like, are these documents, is a nuclear fucking code documents making him money? Like, I don't.
Well, I think people were saying that him and his family were giving him some Saudis. Like, getting paid.
Yeah, well, then I understand.
Yeah.
That
Which,
fits into character.
That's a concern, I guess. But
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't know. Do I want nuclear? I guess. Is that something I want secret? Nuclear?
Yeah, I want everyone to know, but I don't want just the Americans and Saudis to know.
We've had this argument before. But yeah. So what is actually in the leaks?
I don't know. Let's find out. With the recent death of Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah in Israel, what we know about all this is everything planning something big.
You boys are stinky.
Anyway,
Please tell me what's in the
top
leaks.
secret documents outlining Israel's preparations for a large-scale attack on Iran, which would be Israel's largest. And here's what's most interesting: the mainstream media is silent, silencio, as the Spanish would say. Colleagues at some of the
Silencio.
biggest media outlets, from the New York Times to NBC, tell me that their outlets are aware of the documents. But it's been days, and no one in the sanctioned elite press is reporting on them. Axios only just reported their existence, but
Axios.
declined to publish the documents themselves. It's just insane that these things are publicly available.
wow.
So it's like you are actively being like disincentivizing people from knowing it. It's as with the JD Vance dossier. I don't know what that is.
No.
Which the entire media knew about but refused to publish. It appears the media has once again lost its nerve and its sense of what's news. The mainstream media has.
Yeah, they keep doing that. It's kind of funny how the media keeps doing that.
They're not like, oh, I want to do this, but it's also scary.
Almost
It's
like
no,
media
they're-
can never
they're
be a
not-
check on the
their
power
function
it
is
reports
different to
on.
what we think it should be. The mainstream media has generally decided
Because
that it won't
they're in
publish
bed
classified
together.
material, in effect deputizing themselves as enforcers of the national security state secrecy regime. I hate that we just said his the start of the article in our
sorry.
little rant. No, not sorry. He should get better at preempting our streams. They did this last year with highly classified.
Yeah,
Ukraine
never
documents refused to publish.
apologize.
Oh,
Is
this
that
was
was that
the Discord
Texiera
guy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I was just thinking that the same thing. It was like everyone talked about the story.
Yeah.
No one talked about the documents.
No, no. I hated that.
The
Frontal.
story is there's been a breach around
Range
national
five.
security.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no. What the fuck are they doing?
Making good time through
I mean,
this.
like, they fucking
It's
locked
going
up
pretty
this
good
kid.
compared to the last
that
two.
was
So awful. And the worst part is that, what's that guy's name? Bevan.
Bevan Shields.
No, the American one.
Bevan.
The Bellingcat guy. He's a
Oh,
Bellingcat.
and then they went all that effort and doxed him and stuff like that.
They're just such psycho. I think Bellingcat, my opinion, CIA cut out. Don't know, we can go
Ooh.
into that on another date. Anyway, these fucking freaky guys. He comes
These
out and his whole
freaky
thing is
guys.
Like, he's meant to be like a intel researcher guy, and he's coming down so hard on this kid who essentially did his job. And then
Oh,
so
we
far
got our
as,
healer.
like, the FBI, whoever it was that was raiding this kid's house, posted pictures of the house, and in the corner of this fucking like kid's room was moisturizer and
made-
tissues,
they'll make
and it's fucking
Healer
Bellingcat
running back.
investigative research
Care.
is like, those kids are doing a lot of busy work. And I'm like,
Young man masturbates.
you're a piece of shit. This kid does not deserve to be locked
So
up.
he
Let alone does he deserve to be fucking cyberbullied by a freak like you on the internet.
So here's the two news stories that have come out of that.
Yeah.
National security has been breached. Young man masturbates.
masturbates. Yeah, it's just like no,
Breaking news.
Tell us what the
Tell us
government's doing.
all about it. There's nothing else to be concerned about here. What
Would you-
moisturizer is he using?
would you really
How
try-
much is he used?
Or do you really trust the leaks of a gooner?
AOE
Come on.
incoming.
He's obviously
Gooners are the
got
only
sound
ones who
mind
leak.
if he
They get
masturbates
that post-nut
sometimes.
clarity.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bellingcat said the Palestinians bombed their own
They're thinking
hospitals.
clearer
We
than
did
any of
analysis
us.
that It was actually fucking Jaish al-Islam, whatever the fuck it was called. That's from Syria. It's the wrong name, but doesn't matter. Islamic Jihad. Anyway, despite all the happy talk from Washington about the US's ironclad relationship with Israel, the US spies on them just like any other country, as we recently reported. The two top secret US... Man, this guy's edging us so hard. It's like, you want to hear about it, don't you?
You want to hear about it, don't you?
The first intelligence report... Oh, there we go. It's titled Israel Defense Forces Continue Key Munitions Preparations and Covert UAV Activity, Almost Certainly for a Strike on Iran. What really troubles me about security and like these kinds of leaks and stuff is that I'm not smart enough to operate in this world or even analyze it, because I'm just like, I want to read the leak. And I'm like, is it out there because they want me to read it? Like, there's just so many like games upon games, and I'm just like, fuck me, like, oh, what am I even doing here? I don't know. I'm too dumb to engage with this.
Yeah, we're all stuck in a John le Carre story now.
When I first reading about this, but this does confirm that Israel has nukes.
Oh.
Because they say it's not likely that they'll use their nukes.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Good.
However,
Well, you know, at least the worst kept secret in the entire Middle East is finally confirmed. And at least they're saying, don't worry, guys. They're probably not going to use them. Oh, good.
you know, Israel has basically confirmed that they have nukes by this point. So it's less of a touchy thing.
At least this is like a, you know, authoritative kind of repeating of stuff that you kind of already knew in the background.
Yeah.
We cannot definitively predict the scale and scope of the strike on Iran, and such a strike can occur with no further geo-int warning, the report states. In English, that means that based upon scrutiny of satellite, aircraft, and drone imagery. Right, so it can just happen. Yeah. NGA doesn't necessarily have the tools by itself to provide what they call actionable intelligence to warn of an Israeli strike. It is raw reporting that has to be combined with that of other
what the hell?
Sure.
As we said in the Pine Gap video, I don't give a shit, it's all the same. It's all the same. Shut up with your fucking acronyms. The lack of certainty is not a defect of the intelligence. It speaks to how complex intelligence work actually is at a vast $100+ billion a year effort. I want to know more about the report. So it's just saying that they will strike Iran. Or like they and we can't do anything about it. The second
Well, that didn't work out.
I mean, but then you look into that whole thing. It's just like, are we reading this because they want us to read it? Is it like kind of like we can't even track? Like there's a secret shame.
This is still timeable, I think, but
we don't have the
that's an
capabilities.
unfortunate thing to have had happen.
It's like, don't look at us. Israel's just doing crazy stuff.
Admission of the spying as well is like that's what he's been putting like, that's not something that they want out.
I feel like the tank pulled
I guess
one
in the sense
thing
that,
and someone else
you know,
pulled
Israel would
another
have to
thing.
react in some way, but
I feel like
if you're
that's
in
what
these
happened
positions, you
there.
would know that you're being
Because there was
spied
no
on.
knockback.
You won't be
There
able
was
to work out
nothing
who's
to
doing it and
like
what's coming out, but, like,
push
I mean,
someone
what
into
you're
those
saying
mobs.
is that this could be it's a part of the media. They're trying to work the media.
But then the
they
media
want
would be
us to see-
reporting on it then.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
But also the media. I don't think that the.
I'm
the
also faster
agencies,
than most
the
people, thanks
security
to
establishment
my
wants us to
gem.
be knowing, oh, you're spying on Israel, so you actually know lots, because it goes against their thing that we're working together, we're a close ally, and you know we're getting assurances in some way that we actually got influence here, rather than you have to spy on them.
Yeah, but then it's also
Don't
like,
think we actually
what this could be
successfully
like.
killed
Hello,
any
I'm
of those,
Lucas.
unfortunately.
Hello, everyone. Apparently people
Oh, welcome
come-
from Hassan's
people
stream.
All
come
right,
from
let's
Hassan's.
try
Welcome
this
to the
for
better
real.
stream.
Hello.
No, but then it's like you could also be like, these are all these different institutions with different needs, different like motivations. So I'm distracted by this severed hand. The second intelligence report is titled Israel Air Force continues preparation for strike on Iran and conducts a second large force employment exercise. What's an employment exercise? Are they pretending to hire people?
Oh
to the
my
Air Force?
god, that's
They don't have
entirely
details
too
about
close
activities during an evident mission
for what
rehearsal
I would want to see in that
years ago.
situation.
That could be indicative of how Israel will strike Iran. Citing imagery analysis and other sources, the NGA report notes that the Israeli Air Force is already conducting covert drone operations over Iran. I mean, that's how they got Soleimani. Like, surely they're always flying above Iran.
No, but Soleimani was in Iraq.
Oh yeah.
He was in Iraq.
Yeah, they've got
Apologies.
geosynchronous
And how, as part of
satellites
Israeli Air Force
above
activity,
Iran.
it has been handling air-launched ballistic missiles and other weapons. This is what intelligence is. It is clerical. It is a mosaic. It is complex.
See, that's like what you said. Laissez-faire.
See, that's what you said.
Rule
Yeah,
of threes.
yeah,
that's
good
how you
rider.
deliver. That's how you
Rule
write
of
it.
Good
threes.
Good on you, Ken. Jason Bourne. It is not. Okay. I don't want. You had me until you told me it wasn't Jason Bourne.
Yeah, don't tell me that shit.
What's the takeaway?
The main takeaway, I guess, is
Uh-oh.
they're spying
That guy is real
on Israel.
close.
Yeah.
And Israel.
Okay, good. I was worried that might knock me off, but it didn't.
It
And
could
no one's
potentially
talking about
come without US oversight.
Yeah, well, apparently.
I wonder if this is still timeable. I like to hope it is. I like to hope.
For other ones that they did, apparently they hit Nasrallah without US approval. I think they might.
Well, they
have
had
done
UN
Hania.
approval.
What do you mean?
They had well, I mean, because he did it from the UN, no? Or
Oh,
is that-
yeah.
This motherfucker commits a war crime while fucking right after giving a speech at the fucking Security Council. I don't know where he was, or the General Assembly.
Yeah, he was there.
Piece of shit. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
It makes me so pissed off as a Serbian because it was so hard to fucking do war crimes, let alone do them at the UN. Fucking impossible.
Yeah.
It's just. I would like equal opportunity for war crimes. I don't like this favoritism. You know, just because they're doing genocide against Arabs, now they can get away with it. What about us? What about us? But other people want to do
Yeah,
genocide
just
against other
like
people. No one cares.
Islamophobia is the
So
only
one of us is-
acceptable
you're
kind of racism.
Well, I just want genocide equality.
Genocide against
I don't think anyone should be allowed to do it.
Arabs is the only acceptable kind of genocide.
Except
It's really
against
fucked
white
up.
South Africans. That's the only one that should be allowed.
They're definitely being genocided, those guys. I've watched a lot of shows on current affairs.
Is this Instagram a news article?
Yeah, yeah. So I found this one quite interesting. I don't know if you came across this.
Wow.
An Australian airbase was just used so the US could bomb Yemen.
Wow.
It's pretty wild. So I'm a bit confused. Tyndall Air Base on Jawoyn, Dagaman, and Waterman Islands. I adjust if you lands. It's kind of confusing. So like there are so many American air
I
bases.
might just read this.
Oh yeah.
US long-range B-2 stealth bombers just flew
Okay.
from an airbase in the Northern Territory.
We're
to
beginning to get a
Yemen.
little out of
US
control.
Secretary of Defense said this was a unique demonstration of the
Again,
US
I don't
ability
think this is
to target
timeable,
facilities that
but
adversaries
whatever.
seek to
We're
keep
here
out
for
of
the
reach,
trinket
no matter
and for
how
the
deeply
crest.
Buried underground, hardened, or fortified. Rule of threes again.
But wait, why do you need to do that from Australia? Do we can go the special way? That's so fucking stupid. You do not know how planes fly.
Yeah.
When you land at an airport, you do a fucking circle. It's not like planes are like, oh, we can only hit this from Australia. Such bullshit. Well, I have a reason. I think it's like you're like soft launching a relationship. I feel like there are so many American air bases so much closer to Yemen than Australia. When I don't think it's the most convenient way to do it. I think it's just like little by little getting Australia used to being a staging ground for like a war of aggression.
Yes. Maybe it's that they don't have the B-2 stealth bombers.
Yeah, we're soft
They
launching
don't give them to the
our
Ramstein,
Australian
air base or
fiefdom.
wherever else they usually bomb the Middle East from.
That's, yeah, well, I guess.
I don't
that's
know.
where they
Yeah,
normally
I mean, we
come
gave
from.
up
I
Bagram,
don't
so
know,
yeah.
There's
Stealth
heaps of
bombers
them.
work close with Pine Gap and stuff like
Yeah,
Heaps.
yeah.
that. That's like the more
I mean, they could. Yeah,
There are
there's
heaps
probably
of 'em.
strategic reasons. I don't know anything about.
just testing out the I like it's also just working up,
But
working out the muscles in the area.
yeah, I think it's
Seeing
getting
how it all works.
getting the Australian government used to literally just being a forward operating base for
Being
the
an
Americans.
accessory to war
Only
crimes,
Guam
yeah.
is the home base of the B-2s.
Guam is the same distance away as Australia.
It's like when you make the new guy carry the gun after you did the crime,
exactly.
right?
It's
Like,
secure.
well, you're in it now, buddy. You're holding the
Yeah.
gun that we just
It's-
used, so
it's just-
welcome to the
I
team,
fucking-
buddy.
They were just expanding the base in Darwin, I think. Yeah.
Well, they're expanding
And
all of them.
they're making the runways bigger and expanding everything just so you have more troops
It's
and
just-
more planes and stuff.
It's just such a fucked prospect. Like I don't, I struggle enough with the idea that the Australian government can decide to go to war whenever.
Yeah, I'm
This is
pretty
just,
sure
like,
this isn't
so far
timeable
offensive. It's
anymore,
another level removed.
sadly.
Like it's just another country gets to decide if we're bombing a country.
But
It's
we'll
just-
still get 5
it's
crests
just
in the
so
deal.
backwards. I don't understand.
Well, here's another
And
one.
who knows? Maybe we'll get the trinket.
Australia
That'd be
is
pretty sick if
also
so.
announced
That'd be
that
pretty
they'll
sweet if it
reviewing,
happens.
The military exports to Israel.
Not enough export. That's. I'm literally. I love Elon Musk now.
I know.
Like,
Who
I-
else thinks
Literally.
this far in the future?
And it's like the whole thing was like this. What's the guy? What's the Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
Yeah.
No, but what's it based on?
Alexander
Who's the
Pope.
guy?
I forget.
Watch your step.
It's
Alexander Pope.
The whole fucking shtick of the billionaire psycho right-wing guy was all just like it was like performance art and distraction. And then he comes out with this, amazing. He's going to save the world.
Yeah, I think we're I mean, yeah, Musk and the official.
Wait, what are these guys saying?
What?
Oh, what? Apparently we went offline.
Oh, did we go out?
We missed that whole
Did
revelation.
we lose viewers? Did we lose people?
I don't think so.
Oh no.
We're joking.
We're joking.
We noticed as soon as we went out and we restarted the modem, and now we're back. Elon Musk is still a piece of shit.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, guys. We're doing good. Okay.
So,
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah,
so
not enough
Australia
time to
is
time this key, I'm
reviewing its
afraid.
contracts with
Too many
Israel.
costly
The ones that don't
deaths.
exist.
But it's
So
fine.
they're reviewing their contracts, and they are now checking whether or not they are compliant with like Australian law, which says you have to be compliant with international law, but also.
Are they gonna say like, let's just wait 90 seconds so we can
if it's in the
use
national- whether or
less?
not these
Are we throwing in the
exports are within
towel?
The national interest. They'll say yes, it is, but.
Looks
were
like they wanna
previously
give it a
saying
go.
that there was no exports to Israel. What people have been saying, and what the Greens have been saying, and what Palestinian activists have been saying is Australia helps build F-35s. We build parts that go
That's
into
our issue, yeah.
the F-35. What the government has been saying, and the line that Labor has been saying is, they've been saying that that's misinformation. You're being irresponsible. You're spreading misinformation that we give F-35s to Israel.
Okay.
What we do is we build F-35s that go to America.
And then America sells them to Israel.
Then go to Israel. So
Yeah.
we build the F-35s.
Wow, it's
because we
crazy.
send it to America, and because we contribute to them just going to America, what America then does with these F-35s?
Yeah,
which
kind of
is
like being
within
a
Israel,
gun shop owner in
turns
Indiana.
out we are compliant because we're just giving it to the USA. So there's all these other stuff as well. Australia makes
Watch your step.
I think we do the Bushmaster.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
we
know.
love that guy.
We've been sending that to Ukraine.
That's what the ladies call me.
Find shelter.
I don't know if we have sent any Bushmasters yet, but we do a lot of software stuff. You like that?
I like it. I love it. If there are any porn stars out there, any Aussie porn stars, you're missing out on a name.
Call yourself
On the
Bushmaster.
perfect name. I'm the Bushmaster.
Bushmaster.
Another thing, the other thing we do
I
is
don't like that he's
I think
standing
there's a
on
company
me,
called
that he's
EOS, which
still
does a lot of
standing on
software
me.
and stuff, and we sell that to Israel. And
So these are all sales. We're not actually just giving them money like the US does. Well, what do you say? Oh, really?
Bushmaster porn.
Bushmaster Confidential 2018. There's the Bushmaster Confidential 2018. There's a lot of movies. Bushmaster. There's so many.
Find
You
shelter.
search Bushmaster Pornhub.
Bushmasters, Pornhub, and there's a lot. Let me tell you, Alexa.
Okay.
I'm doing hard research over here.
You're like who's the guy on
I'm Jamie.
You're Jamie.
I'm Jamie
Jamie,
Oliver.
Jamie, pull up some Bushmaster porn.
Look up porn for me,
Yeah, Jamie, hook up some porn,
That
dude.
reminds me, I was what was I watching? What was I watching? I was watching gay porn.
Oh yeah.
Something I saw there.
Yeah. Yeah, this whole thing is a bit derivative. It reeks of, I guess, 1980s gay porn.
Yeah.
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 Golden age. I wonder if
It
this
does.
joke is actually
It does
gonna
seem
become
very
a thing on Twitch. Do we
derivative
say it in
of
something?
that.
I think you're recognizing it's a throwback.
Watch your step.
Really reminds me.
So let's see what the wording is. So the federal government has previously said that Australia has not supplied weapons or ammunition to Israel since the conflict began, and for at least the past 5 years.
Well,
they maintain this position, but they are
we didn't get to
reviewing
time
the
that one
defense
either.
the exports that they're now doing, and like I said, we make parts for the fucking F-35. Those are going to Israel, but because it's being laundered through the US, apparently that's not going to Israel. And then now we hear they're launching attacks on Yemen out of the Northern Territory. Like, we are so fucking wrapped up
so
in this shit.
fucked.
We are so part of this, but they can't admit it. They can't say it. They need to pretend that that there's some distance, and then like.
Wait, I'll preface
Offering
it
up the ring to my
Americans who are watching,
party.
which might be quite.
I already
unique,
have the exact
for
same
them
ring.
because their politicians don't have this legacy. But Anthony Albanese, who's the Labor leader right now, leader of Australia, it does like Israel has a right to defend itself, all the kind of normal shit. And then like as late as like. 10,
And we hit him with
years
the
ago, he was like a big
GGs.
pro-Palestine voice in Parliament. And you've got these speeches where he's saying exactly what the fucking like humanitarian fucking normal people are saying about what Australia is culpable of, and he's like grilling them on it. And it's just I want to find a speech of him. Maybe there's fuck it. I can't find the one I'm specifically referring to, and it's all just annoying news articles. But
well, that's yes, Lol Lumia. I agree. I think because what they're actually reviewing is whether or not these exports are in the national interest, and whether they're consistent with Australia's national and foreign interests. They are going to say supporting the US and supporting Israel is in the national interest.
It's so fucking nuts. I love the low bar. It's like I love it that they think protests are like, oh, killing children is bad for the country. It's like that's not the argument.
No. Yeah.
Killing children's bad for like humanity. I want to see what Sky News has dug up because I love these fucking guys. So they're like the Murdoch press. I mean, everything's a Murdoch press in Australia, but they're kind of the more blatant ones. So I guess they're going to say what he's pro-Israel now, but you can't trust him because he wasn't always pro-Israel.
Well, old footage has surfaced of Prime Minister Anthony Albanese at a pro-Palestinian rally earlier in his parliamentary career. Sky News Australia host Shari Markson revealed the clip last night. In the grainy video, Mr Albanese can be seen protesting against Israel's occupation of Palestine next to a sign that reads, "Stop the Israeli slaughter, free Palestine now." Mr Albanese also
that would be a good thing to do. They should
military.
stop the slaughter, and they should free Palestine now. That would be very cool of them to do.
Okay. Well, he has a lot of like, I don't know, this wasn't very easy to hear. He has a lot of like pretty good speeches about the stuff. Like just base level, like this is a colonial project.
All right,
These
so we
people
get
being
it up to the
dispossessed,
same
it's
level as
fine,
my
humanitarian
current
catastrophe.
boots.
Like he's, saying the normal stuff. And I don't
It
know if you
actually
feel about it on a
cost me
personal
rather
level,
a
like,
lot of
part me
critical
is kinda like,
strike.
this is
If we're
more
being
offensive
really
than-
real.
than like,
And we gotta be really
He's not just
real.
completely brainwashed into.
yeah, he knows he's being evil, which is nuts.
Well,
We should
Like,
hang
it's
on
just
to
like,
him.
How can
Our
you live
stat
with
mixture
yourself? Like, I
might
understand
change.
if you're actually brainwashed enough to be like,
No, I think he's brainwashed in a different way. He's just so brainwashed, pragmatic. He thinks.
All right. We're going to take ourselves another break after this boy video is over.
Libs will do things worse. So Labor needs to be in charge. But
because I know my babies did not get the lion's share of that food, and they've been posted up outside my door ever since.
The media will fuck us.
Yeah.
We will
So
be
my sweet
destroyed.
spoiled
They
babies are going to need
believe
more
that that'll
food.
be worse for this cause in the long run. Therefore, they need to be smart and sensible. They need to be adults. They need to control themselves. And in fact, they're making some sort of noble sacrifice by not going out there and making these impassioned speeches.
Yeah.
In fact, they're better than the people who are making the noble.
Yeah, these people are
the
impractical.
speeches. Yeah, they are hurting the cause. We are making the noble sacrifice by playing the game. And if you guys are getting on the wrong and that we are actually doing good things, it's like they brag about it.
Yeah.
Penny Wong brags about the fact that she voted against gay marriage.
yeah, that's right.
Penny Wong.
Wait, but she's a
Penny
lesbian.
Wong is a gay woman.
Yeah.
She voted against gay marriage, and this is the mind of the Labor person that their pragmatism is a virtue. That they're angels. That they're martyrs.
Yeah.
in that they are being so pragmatic.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
So like
Labor's praxis.
That's his logic. That's the logic.
Yeah, no, that sounds much more reasonable than my assumption.
Nothing's possible because of these
That idea. Yeah,
because of these dickheads, and also the way that they absorb all the energy and all efforts to go anywhere. I mean, we'll be shouting about later. We'll go to some other news, but later I'll be shouting about some unions later. So get ready for that one. And it's the same thing. It's the same tactic. It's the way that they swallow up the energy of everything else. It just gets it's stifled.
It's the same kind of playbook as the Democrats, essentially. Like Labor's a little bit better because they're, I guess, the Overton window's in a different place in Australia. That like certain policies are harder to touch in Australia. Like you know, everyone loves Medicare here. They're still fucking with it.
Yeah.
But like at a much slower rate than would be possible in America. Well, in America they don't have it, so yeah. So like in that sense they're better, but at the end of the day it's like the same kind of entity where they're just they suck up any kind of progressive momentum and funnel it into doing exactly the same thing as the thing they're trying to stop. Like, I feel like maybe you know more about this. I'm not that clued in with American politics, but I read somewhere, I'm going to sound like an idiot, that Nancy Pelosi came up during the anti-Iraq war movement. Is that crazy? Am I an idiot to chat? Is that real? Because like that, in my head, knowing her, I feel like that's impossible. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not real. Never mind. I just put her into places.
Look up your facts before you repeat them.
That's why I'm asking them. She's to answer that.
But actually, I guess I can't really talk.
I have a problem that I insert her in situations that she's not because I find her attractive. So she's kind of everywhere in my head. I get okay. Never mind.
All right. Check. All right. Let's get the music back. We're going to have that Drat Nose video after the break. Maybe a little Curtis Connor. Break time. And let's feed those babies. First across my threshold, the little lightning. Athos the Swift, daughter of lightning. Athos is so funny because she's sitting here purring, and she's also like stiff arming me, like no hugs and kisses, but I do somehow enjoy this. And there's Aramis saying, "Hey, what about me? I'm a widow baby." Oh yeah? Oh yeah? You're a widow baby, huh? You're a widow baby? Oh yeah? You're jealous is what you are. You want to be the only one held like a widow baby. What do you see? You're looking at yourself in OBS? You're looking at yourself in OBS and saying, I don't like what I see? I don't know how that could be possible. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. When you have cats, you have to always be careful where you're stepping, where you're rolling your chair. I was so excited to pick up Athos, I didn't even notice. Aramis came screaming in right behind her and got immediately underfoot. Let me get you babies some food so we can keep the big bus. What's the matter, D'Artagnan? You like your cozy couch more now? What a lovely song to come back to. This song always reminds me of T&E. Perhaps the loveliest people on Twitch. Alright, let's take down the break time. And actually, while I was up and about, I was wondering, what are my catalyst boots? What do boots catalyze into for me? I mean, that's not any better. It's still crit haste, but it's the wrong crit haste. Always good remembering things like that. If for nothing else, then Demon Hunter. No. Regular Hunter. We're gonna need boots eventually to complete our transmog. There's a cheeky little boot knife. Cheeky little knife on the boot there is, yeah? Yeah, I think we hold off on any and all crest upgrades for the moment. It's not clear how the meta is going to shift tomorrow. But you know what will make that clearer? A video from Dratnos. The wise King Solomon of retail WoW.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dratnos, and today we are looking
Hi,
at
Dratnos.
the expected class tuning changes with patch 11.0.5. A beautiful WoWhead post here, which is basically patch 11.0.5 comes out today, tomorrow, the day after, depending on what time you're watching this video.
Yeah.
Basically, you know, the server should be coming up 24 hours after this video comes out with patch 11.0.5 in NA. And there are a bunch of class trees, spec trees, and hero talent trees that are getting changed, which does mean in a lot of cases there are classes and specs that are getting nerfed or buffed. Now, this post is using expectations of things that are going to get nerfed and buffed, which may end up differing from reality. There's some that they've just put in this uncertain category, but there's also just some uncertainty, right? Specs may look like they're getting nerfed, but it turns out there's actually a new build that is facilitated by some talent changes that people haven't discovered yet. And once you play that, it's actually a buff. That sort of thing happens fairly often. So keep that in mind. Also keep in mind that they're not coming in. It's not like they're doing like a tuning pass, right? Like it's not like they've just come in and been like, oh, we're buffing Arcane Blast by 12% or something like that. Like, no, they're changing trees, and then a side effect of changing trees is buffing and nerfing specs effectively. But the point isn't that they wanted to buff or nerf these specs. The point is they wanted to change these trees. They wanted to change playstyles. They wanted to improve hero talents. And then the buffing and nerfing may have been something they did in addition to that, or it may have been something they did incidentally, or it may be something they've done accidentally in some of these cases, in which case we may see some fixes coming soon to that. But this is very relevant because there's an M+ season still underway. There's a Hall of Fame race that is very much still underway. Only a few guilds in the world have killed Mythic Queen Ansarek. The ones that do get in Hall of Fame are overwhelmingly going to be doing it after, not before, these changes came in. So guilds that can adapt and play the stuff that is now good is going to be a very valuable thing to do. So here is their kind of broad picture of what's happening. I'm going to make some faces at the camera now so I can easily just yoink one of these for the thumbnail of this video. Wow. Okay. Cool. So
wow.
First off, in the buffs category,
I'm bat chesting,
let's talk about just
dude.
the kind of broad sweeps of the picture, and then we can go. They've also done spec by spec. They've got a table down here. Obviously, buffing Arcane Mage is ridiculous, right? Like that is a spec. Arcane Mage was our top damage on our Queen Ansarek Mythic Kill top boss damage, and it's very, very good already. Getting a large buff is that's something that I would be surprised if that doesn't get tweaked downwards in the next couple of weeks. Frost DK as well, another spec where it's like, okay, this spec is good. Now, this spec isn't great single target, though, is the thing, right? So these are some of the specs where it's like, okay, some of the buffs here, some of the nerfs, just a single target may be justified if there's AoE compensation, right? If we're buffing Frost single target and nerfing their AoE, that might make sense. So actually, let's just go down to look at the table here rather than this is a cool little cheat sheet, but I think looking at the table is going to be more interesting and will help jog my memory more on what's actually happening to these. So to start off, we've got Blood Decay, Deathbringer. Now Deathbringer is getting a single target increase, but a slight nerf to the AoE. And crucially, it's getting a large variance reduction for both Blood and Frost decays, Deathbringer is. Because previously, you could proc new Reaper's Marks off of your Exterminates, and they're removing that functionality. So it's going to have a lot less variance from pull to pull of like, oh, this pull I got 20 Reaper's Marks, and that pull I got 7, right? Like that. That's going away. Blood Decay Sand Lane is inexplicably getting nerfed here. That doesn't make any sense to me, and hopefully, again, is something where it's like, okay, this shouldn't be happening. We'll come back in and do some aura buffs to this. Now, Frost Decay, which is, I think they're just looking at the Deathbringer build, but maybe this is also the Rider Breathless build, is getting single target and AoE buffs, which, yeah, that is kind of crazy to me because the spec is already absolutely like one of the top DPS specs in M+ situations and in a lot of raid fights, right? Like Brood Twister, even Queen Ansarek, very good overall on that fight. Balanced Druid is getting a slight single target nerf, a larger AoE nerf. This is one of the ones where they're not trying to nerf the spec. They're trying, like, this spec is getting kind of a large-ish rework. So I think Balanced Druids are generally happy about that. Obviously, like, the numbers side of the spec is maybe still they need to, like, make single target go up a little bit more. I think AoE going down a bit. If you actually look at overalls in M+, this spec does do a lot of overall in M+, so nerfing the AoE a bit is maybe still fair. Feral Druid, we've got a single target number here of maybe 2% and an AoE that has not been submitted, I guess. So it's worth noting, I think, that it's the Wowhead guide writers that have supplied these answers to each of these ones. So the way that they've answered may vary from spec to spec, what exactly they were looking at, what situation, whether it's a 5-minute single target sim or whether they're trying to actually represent, like, say, how this will change Nexus Princess Kaiveza damage, or anything like that, right? Like M+ versus just a 40-second 10-target dummy sim, right? All those things could change, depending, like, the different guide writers might have had different ways of going about this, and of course they may just have different ideas from each other, so worth noting there. But Feral Druid might be a slight buff depending if patch notes or PTR are true, which is worth another point worth bringing up is that there is some uncertainty with which changes are actually going to make it to live. The last couple weeks of hotfixes were never deployed to the PTR. As such, some specs impacted are unable to generate conclusive results and should be treated as estimations. And again, sims, theory crafting, PTR that's not accurate to necessarily what's going to actually come live, all those things should be a huge grain of salt that you take this with. Resto Druid. A few new talents were added and nerfed an old one, but only...
Wait, Marksman Hunter is getting a nerf? And Beast Mastery is getting a buff? What? Oh, man, dude. Oh, man, dude.
I did everything right.
I may just never come back. I may just never come back. And it makes me cry.
Only one is a clear upgrade, and you're likely to feel similarly powerful with the patch. Okay? A spec that has actually been seeing quite a bit of play in the MDI time trials, interestingly, although still, I think people aren't super jazzed about it for, like, live keys or raid, even after it got a bunch of buffs. Okay, AUG and Dev Evoker. They buffed Unravel, it looks like. So it's in fights with shields. It's going to be happier. Both of these specs are going to be very happy with that on those fights. Notably, that includes Silken Court in the intermissions. The first intermission damage isn't super relevant. The second intermission it is. Queen Ansarek as well. Queen Ansarek shields during the intermission too. So that is quite large. That's definitely something that is valuable. Okay, Beast Mastery Hunter. Single target is likely going up to at least pre-Basilisk change, which was a couple of weeks ago, numbers, pending on PTR versus live hotfix implementation. And the single target in AoE, and AoE in the single target is worse. So that is a downside for BM Hunter. BM already had a really hard time choosing between a single target and an AoE build. Like, it was so painful to take AoE stuff. And so basically now you are giving up more single target to be able to AoE or more AoE to be able to single target, and PI is losing some value as well. MM, within 2% of previous performance for single target, AoE similar, a couple of percent buff, and Serve getting some nice buffs effectively here as well. Now Arcane, Sun Fury Arcane is getting a 12%.
Nobody cares about the plight
in both AoE and single
us
target.
marksmanship
Spellslinger's
hunters.
getting a bigger buff, but it's starting from a much lower
Who will
baseline,
dry my
unless you can figure out a
tears?
way to get 250.
My tears fall on my keyboard. Who will clean them up?
Splinters in a target, in which case it was pretty good. But it's starting from a much lower baseline, so even though you see a larger percent increase here, it's actually still not enough to bring it ahead of Sun Fury. Sun Fury is still about 10% ahead in single target, which is a shame, although it's nice that they are closing that gap. That gap used to be much wider than 10%, and if we can get these gaps between hero talent trees into, say, the sub 5% range, that's when we start to get to this range where it's like, okay, this is actually an interesting choice. You know, maybe the defensive or target number, cooldown timing implications of one hero talent over the other start to be enough where I'll think about using it in some cases, which I think is really fun. They've done a really good job, much better than I expected, of making that be true for many more hero talent trees than I was expecting it to be true for. Fire Mage is getting a nerf here. AoE is the same, but you're giving up a lot more single target to do so. A shame here for Fire. A spec that's actually not bad. Like, the single target on Fire is good currently.
Yeah,
but I don't
I
think
want
it's
to
at
play
the point where you
Fire.
need to
Fire
nerf
seems
it. I think
fun.
just staying the same would have been ideal. Frost Mage getting a single target buff. Okay, let's see. You know, again, mages you always have to be buffing them. It's mages. You know, you need to make sure that at least of their 6 hero talent and spec combinations, we need at least like 2 to be overpowered, 2 to be upper middle of the pack, and then 2 can be middle of the pack. Those are the rules for mage in World of Warcraft. Otherwise, it's unfair to the main characters of WoW. Brewmaster's getting a slight single target and AoE buff, but it could be more depending on bugs. Yes, this like how we were just talking about mages. The thing with monks is that monks are buffed and nerfed based on which bugs you fix or don't fix, whether they're detrimental or helpful buffs that you're fixing or not fixing. Mistweaver, a very small single target buff, a little bit of an AoE buff. Interesting, they don't really have like a healing column here. But many quality of life improvements with new and merged talents, including baseline ancient teachings, although I think they're nerfing it by quite a bit, right? A ranged RSK alternative in rushing wind kick, which is pretty cool. And a new smaller cooldown in Jade Empowerment that gets better when there are more enemies to damage. And then Windwalker getting some slight buffs as well. Holy Paladin is getting about a 2% nerf. PTR is currently missing hotfixes, which could lead to additional nerfs. Prot Paladin, unknown, some live hotfixes were pushed to PTR. They got to fix the mana on Word of Glory for this spec, especially with Lightsmith being something like I want to play that, but I'm not going to play it if I'm going to go That's not happening.
I wonder if I get invited to this.
Do not want to play it.
I doubt it, but
Ret Pally is slight nerf as well. Again, this is not a case of an aura nerf targeting Ret Pally. It's like, oh, the class tree, Seal of Order being removed. One thing that was really annoying though is that they turned they did some work to remove annoying throughput talents that you had to take in the class tree, but then they also did some counterintuitive moving in the opposite direction of like putting another point in to just make Hammer of Wrath do slightly more damage or something. That's a little bit kind of, it seems like they're pulling in 2 different directions with what they're trying to do with the Paladin class tree for Ret. Rogues are getting some buffs, all 3 specs. Sub, though, is getting a defensive nerf due to the removal of Invigorating Shadow Dust. It's also getting a playstyle buff for a lot of people who did not like the Shadow Dust playstyle. And yeah, all 3 rogue specs getting a nice buff. Ellie Shaman, the AoE is getting buffed. Burst increased, and Mastery is now your best stat, interestingly enough, which is cool. Enhance, uncertainty due to the amount of changes in PTR being down for extended period of time. The number makes deeply rooted elements worse and likely non-viable. My guess is that this is overall a net buff to Enhance for like M+ situations. I don't know about raid situations, but that's just what it seems like to me. It's definitely one of the ones that has a lot of moving parts for it, so... but I feel like the spec is going to be... I wouldn't be surprised if we see Enhance, Arcane... Yeah, Enhance, Arcane, and Frost DK getting aura nerfs in like a week or two's time. Those would be the specs at the top of my list of what's probably OP in the next patch.
Great.
Resto Shaman, slight buff here, slightly bigger buff for Farseer than Totemic. That's great. Arsham is obviously insanely OP in M+. They're trying to nerf it a little bit by making Poison Cleansing Totem have a longer CD. That doesn't really have that much to do with why Resto Shaman is sick. And a longer CD, but you still have totemic recall, it's still going to be super good. So that one's not going to have that effect on like the M plus meta, I don't think. And then obviously throughput getting a little bit better. Obviously you mostly play totemic on this spec, but I love Farseer Resto Shaman, so I hope that becomes more of an option as well. Arms Warrior, very slight nerf. And then Fury and Prot Warrior, we're seeing Thunderous Roar getting a 5 target cap. Fury, largely neutral single target, but the AoE is reduced by about 20%, Odin's Fury and initial Thunderous Roar damage, or about 3 to 5% overall. So Fury is taking like the 4th effective nerf in a row here. Now, there will be Fury Warriors complaining about this, acting like they don't deserve this. I'm of the opinion that they definitely did deserve all of this AoE nerfs. Let me see if I can, hang on. Let me pull up our Ansarek kill. I don't know, man. This spec is still kind of something else. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I think it's okay to nerf the AoE a little bit more. Now, should the single target maybe come up a little bit as the AoE comes down? Probably yes. Yeah, that's definitely true. But the AoE, I think, coming down a little bit more is okay. I think it's fair if you're a warrior to look at Frost DK and be like, what? How are they getting this when we're getting this? You know, okay, fine. But in a vacuum, I do think this is probably still sensible. Although I wish it was kind of a numbers reduction rather than a target cap implementation. But I guess there is still the numbers reductions as well. Okay, that's it. That's our look at the upcoming tuning in patch 11.0.5. Let me know what you think.
Well, at least based on this, it seems like maybe it's not going to be as big of a swing as I thought it would be tomorrow. I feel like it might still be a pretty big swing, but nothing's being highlighted as being particularly out of whack. I wonder...
you think? Let me know down in the comments below. If there's anything you disagree with from this table,
Don't mind if I do
how specs are changing and things. Obviously, this is very much a simplified look at the things that are coming. So again, take it with a huge grain of salt. They're not trying to pass this off as these are the exact numbers. This is like these are our estimates. These are the sims. These are the theory craft. But a lot of this can change. A lot of this can be wrong. So. That's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching. See you.
Good video, Dratanos. Right. Curtis.
Happy October, folks. This is my favorite time of year. The leaves are changing colors, the mosquitoes are dying, and we're only a few months away from my favorite time of year. Christmas. But October rules, man. There is no better feeling than going into some little cafe in the middle of October in a big knit sweater and drinking a latte with both hands like you're a mom on the Gilmore Girls. It rocks. And the other awesome part about October is Halloween. It's scary, dude. I got my scary shirt on today. And personally,
cool.
I can't wait to see all the Halloween costumes this year. Swear to God, if I see someone dress up as the Hawktua girl or a group of dudes dressed up like the Costco guys, I'm gonna laugh so hard. Since it's that time of year, I figured it was the perfect time for me to talk about a movie that I've been wanting to talk about for months. It just never felt like the right time. But as soon as I felt that first brisk breeze on my skin, I knew it was time. First off, we're all familiar with Stranger Things, right? The record-breaking sci-fi drama horror Netflix series that premiered back in 2016 that follows the adventures of 4 young boys.
And is somehow only like 4 seasons deep at this point, despite debuting almost a decade ago.
Whose world is turned upside down when their friend goes missing and when they're also joined by this weird girl named Eleven who has these crazy superpowers. Gonna be honest though, I'm not 100% sure what Eleven's superpowers are. I've watched every season of Stranger Things. I still don't know. The only thing Eleven ever really does in that show is hold out her hand and scream. And I'm sorry, if that's a superpower, then I guess the guy I hit with my car was a superhero. Sorry about that. And since Stranger Things was so insanely successful, I guess some people out there wanted a taste of that. A little bit of a, that meme of the water and then there's the guy in the middle. That's what That's what you guys seen that? There are some people who wanted a taste of that Stranger Things success, which brings us to the topic of today's video. A little movie called The Sneakover. Looks familiar, doesn't it? Also, any movie that has fucking Sneako in it, that sucks. But no, look how similar these are, dude. There's a group of boys on bikes, one girl character, a moon, a creepy figure in the background, and oh yeah, the exact same font and font color as Stranger Things, dude. The hell, guys?
That's a little
in no way is
unsubtle.
that a coincidence. Obviously, though, Stranger Things doesn't own that font. I looked it up, and the font they used for the Stranger Things logo is called ITC Benguiat Bold Condensed. I probably said that wrong. I'm stupid. It was created by a guy named Ed Benguiat for the International Typeface Corporation in 1977. And this font has been used very frequently way before Stranger Things ever existed. For example, cover art for the Smiths album Strange Ways Here We Come. And it was also used for countless sci-fi and horror novels in the 80s, which is probably why they ended up using that font for Stranger Things. So using that font doesn't automatically mean you're copying Stranger Things, but like, guys, switch it up a little bit. You're gonna do the exact same shade of red neon glow with that like VHS effect on it.
Make
Like,
it purple.
come on, dude. The plot of The
Make it
Sneakover
orange.
is very different from Stranger Things, at least, but still, the movie hasn't even started, and we're already
for the
aware
vault,
that whoever's
sign me
behind
up,
it is
bro.
making very questionable decisions. But without further ado, let's watch The
11:30
Sneakover.
no
So,
lever.
the movie
I'm down,
starts with our
dude.
main character Henry entering his dad's movie room.
This is the first year my dad's trusted me in the movie room alone.
Or merge room.
We couldn't do another take on that one.
Merch room? Merge room. Whatever the fuck that is. Henry's dad is a big movie buff, a cinephile, if you will. He has a huge collection of rare movies, and his prize...
Plus, always a great sign when in the very first scene of the movie, the very first character you see looks directly into the camera and tells you what's going on. Always a good sign.
possession is a VHS copy of a movie called The Blue Shadow. This movie was apparently never released to the public, so him having this in his possession is like crazy. It is super rare. So obviously it's just fucking out in the open, readily available for his snot-nosed little kid to steal. And naturally, he does.
Now that I'm old enough to watch it, there's no way I'm only watching it when I visit my dad.
A child of divorce. I wonder why your parents split up, you thief. It is your fault. You stole. So our main character, Henry, has like a pretty gnarly obsession with the Blue Shadow, kind of like Jamie and Turbo Man in Jingle All the Way. So obviously he's watching the movie all the damn time. And this is when we learn that Henry just moved to this house a few months ago and he doesn't have any friends.
This is a chance to make some friends before school
Damn,
starts.
that's actually pretty good art for a literal child. Bro busted out the ruler and shit to get parallel lines?
What if they don't like me?
Yeah, so Henry's going to stay with these kids at a sleepover, but Henry is like a really anxious kid.
The amount of meds I need to calm my anxiety could kill an elephant.
So he's really nervous about going there.
Do you need to go pee-pee, poo-poo?
I'm not a baby, Mom.
I mean, adults go pee-pee and poo-poo as well.
Yeah,
Ew,
all the time.
Mom,
We
pissing
can't
and
stop.
shitting is for babies. I haven't done that in years. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think I'm having a heart attack. So Henry gets up, ejects the VHS, but then I guess holding in shit for 10 years really caught up to him, so he's got to go number 2. And when he gets out of the bathroom, his mom is just like rushing him to leave. It's like a big freaking mess. It's like they're in a rush. So he packs super quick. He puts the VHS case containing the Blue Shadow in his backpack, and they leave.
Your dad called. He got your tickets opening weekend to Nipper 2, the Golden Kebab.
Huh? What?
He got your tickets opening weekend to Nipper 2, the Golden Kebab.
Yeah, I don't know what the mom just said, but I'm like 90% sure she's not allowed to use that word.
Nipper 2, the Golden Kebab.
Every time I talk about like a low budget movie, there's one line in it where I just never understand what they say.
People like they're human cannibals with skin.
If you guys know what she said there, let me know.
Nipper 2, the Golden Kebab.
So Henry makes it to the sleepover, and this is when we meet the rest of the main characters.
The skinny dude is Stats. The smelly, crazy-looking one is Stink.
Okay, great descriptions, Henry. Except, I don't know who you're talking about, dude. Crazy move to introduce main characters in a movie by just showing the back of their heads. Hey guys, I'm Spider-Man. Also, this movie does these like character talks directly to camera scenes infrequently enough where it like kind of fucks with you. It freaks me out every time it happens. I have no problem when movies do that. Like The Big Short was a great example. I loved when they did those segments, but it has to be done correctly and like the right
Nice,
amount
we
of
got a
time. And
Moon
this
Guard
movie
Paladin
does
in
not
here.
do
Let's
it
fucking
correctly,
go.
Okay? When I first watched this scene,
This
I
cue's
fully
blessed,
expected
I can
those
already
two kids
tell.
to be like, "Who the fuck are you talking to?"
They're part of the Mingo Valley Film Club.
So yeah, these kids are in like a film club together with.
And you might have been wondering why I felt the need to farm up more crests when, you know, I'm not necessarily giga behind. And it's because even once I finish upgrading all my gear, I need to bank up a lot of crests. So even just doing keys to completion for the measly 5 gilded crests is eminently worth the effort.
They just watch movies and they take it very seriously. This kid is named Stats because he always provides stats about stuff. Well, I mean, not really, I guess. Throughout the whole movie, he only provides like probabilities,
Think has exactly 0.047% chance of Ava Anderson ever liking him.
which isn't really the same statistics, right? But
What? How is he doing that math? Where is he getting that number from?
I guess like probability is not really like a good nickname, right? Probability. And the other nickname is
Probability.
Stink because get this, he stinks. Oh yeah, and this is also when we meet Stat's older sister, who they all call Dream Girl, but her name is Ashley.
I've heard rumors of Dream Girl, but never seen her in person.
And then we meet the final main character, Chip. And you're probably wondering why his nickname is Chip. So am I. They never explain it. So here's what's going on. Stat's parents are going to a party, so that means Ashley has to babysit all the kids for the night. And once the parents get ready to leave, the film club starts their ceremony, which is probably the most annoying thing of all time.
What the fuck?
All right, that's enough. That's enough. Okay, so maybe this is just like Stranger Things after all, because this is almost as annoying as that fucking Chrissy Wake Up song.
Oh my god,
So they open up the movie case, and what do you know? The Blue Shadow isn't in it. Henry forgot it in the VCR while he was taking a shit. If only he held it in like the rest of us, man. We're not babies anymore. So now Henry is frozen in fear because he totally ruined the night. So, to snap him out of it, Stink farts into his hand and cups it in Henry's face.
Nice.
I know I'm no stranger to putting fart sound effects in
Hell
my
yeah,
videos,
dude.
but that's gross. Also, dude, Henry's being way too chill for a guy who just had a fart cupped in his face, dude. I can only dream of being that nonchalant. We then cut to Henry's dad. He's a single guy now, so he's
This will also certainly be the very last Mythic Plus of the evening. I am desperately trying to stop staying up so late. And so win, lose, or draw, this will be the last Mythic Plus 100p.
brought a date into his very rare movie collection room, or sorry, merge room. And shockingly, the girl doesn't give a shit.
I've got a rare film collection.
But you know, you gotta give him points for trying, man. This man is a certified lover boy, certified cinephile. But he notices the movie case is askew, so now he knows that Henry took the VHS. Henry! But dude, as a collector myself, this scene pisses me off like crazy. If you're gonna collect stuff, you gotta have your shit locked up, hidden away. Dude, I love my collection so much, I never want to see it. Ever. Like, if the Blue Shadow is really that rare, don't just have it out in the open for your fucking kid to steal it, you know? Not to victim blame here, but Buddy was kind of asking for it, you know? But also at the same time, this is a kid's movie that nobody watched, so I don't know why I'm getting so mad. We now cut to the kids playing cards in the basement.
I'd be bored out of my mind too if I was stuck in a basement playing cards. Thankfully, I've got something way more fun to play. New World Eternum. That's right, folks. This video is sponsored by the brand new action RPG, New World Eternum. Launching
Hell yeah,
PlayStation
dude.
5,
New
Xbox
World's getting
Series
an
X and Series S,
expansion.
and PC on October 15th, 2024. Millions of PC gamers have already been playing and loving New World for years. But as of October 15th...
Well, millions for a few months. Millions total sense.
New World Eternum is opening up their world to console players, along with a huge amount of brand new content. But if you're unfamiliar with the game, let me explain really quick. In New World Eternum, you're shipwrecked on the island of Eternum. As you search the island, you'll unveil hidden secrets, meet mysterious inhabitants, explore wild landscapes and ancient ruins as you fight forage, and forge your destiny. In New World Eternum, you create and customize your character.
Nice, I'm
and then you choose
forging
from
my
7
destiny.
unique builds that can be changed at
I'm
any
forging
time,
it
so you're
and
never
I'm
locked into
forging
just
it.
one playstyle. You can start as a soldier, destroyer, ranger, musketeer, occultist, mystic, or swordbearer. So no matter how you want to play, there's something just for you. And starting on release, New World Eternum features cross-play functionality, so you can play with your friends no matter what system they're playing on. And there's something to do in New World Eternum for every kind of gamer. Play through the epic main story by yourself or with friends, battle with other players through various PvP modes, and master the many trade skills so you can thrive in the world and craft all the equipment and gear you would ever need. Also, this is pretty
Hell
cool.
yeah.
Getting the deluxe version of New World Eternum will award you access to this cool-looking corrupted Mauler bear mount, as well as the corrupted soul armor skin. Looks cool as hell. Are you kidding me? And I don't know about you guys, but when the fall, winter months come around, all I want to do is just sit in my house and immerse myself in a fun, rewarding, deep, extensive video
Why
game.
wait
And
for
I
the
can't
winter
wait to dive
months?
into New World
Do that
Eternum
shit
to see
year-round,
which
Curtis,
sort of
my
adventures
guy.
me and my friends will get up to. So if you want to embark on an unforgettable journey with one of the most anticipated games of the year, click the link in my description and get New World Eternum today. And I hope you guys check out the game, because maybe we'll run into each other and then we can square up. All right, thank you so much to New World Eternum for sponsoring this video. Back to me.
As I was
Scared?
saying,
We now cut
Scared?
to the kids playing cards in the basement, and
Jimmy
everybody is
scared?
really, really mad at Henry.
I told people we were watching The Blue Shadow tonight.
Look, dude, it's not my fault he forgot the movie. That's the only reason I invited him.
Yeah, I don't know why Henry wants to be friends with these kids. They're fucking so mean to him. Stats just admitted he didn't want him there. Stink cupped a fucking fart in his face. Like, are these the only other kids in the world? Go be friends with other kids, Henry.
I mean, in fairness, they might be the only other kids this guy knows. I remember being that age, and the bench was not very deep.
It's fine.
guys, come on, stop. One day we'll all look back on this and laugh. So this is what having friends is like.
Also, real quick, this movie really tries to play into the whole Stranger Things, Goonies, Stand By Me vibe, where a group of like lovable friends embark on a journey together, which is fine to do. I have no problem with that whatsoever. And in this movie, there is a group of friends who go on a journey together, but they forgot one crucial aspect. They forgot to make the kids lovable. These kids are mean
That's the only reason I invited him.
and gross. And the main character, Henry, doesn't even like them, really. So, like, why go through all this? Like, imagine if all the kids in Stranger Things were like, yeah, we only like 11 because she has cool superpowers. But again, this is a low-budget movie for children, so I don't know why I'm getting so worked up about it. I honestly don't think I was ever meant to see this movie in the
You can
first
get
place.
worked up about anything you want. It's a free
Chip
country.
rallies all the boys together to go sneak over.
Instead of sitting here like a bunch of babies, let's do something about it.
They're gonna sneak over to Henry's house to retrieve the Blue Shadow VHS tape.
Stats, I need you to distract Dream Girl. Don't call her Dream Girl. She's my sister.
Dude, it is so funny to get mad at your friends for calling your sister like the sweetest, most innocent nickname ever. Stop calling her the girl of your dreams. She's stupid and ugly. I want her dead. So they devise a plan.
I mean,
to
that is
trick
real little
Ashley
brother
into
behavior,
thinking
though.
that they're in their room all night by recording audio of them reacting to the Blue Shadow.
This is the best thing we've ever seen.
And also making a bunch of fart noises. And, you know, I want to make fun of how stupid and gross this is, but I fear they hit the nail on the head with this one. A bunch of dudes watching a movie together is just saying the most generic bullshit and then also farting. Oh, that actor was in The Departed. Oh, yeah. God, I love that movie. Oh, it's so good, dude. Hey, do you want to do the next one, or shall I? Oh, that's all you, man. Say less.
Say less, man.
Oh my God, that smells disgusting. This is the best night of my life. I love you. So they're about to leave for the sneak over when Henry makes another devastating realization.
My house is locked.
You don't have a key?
No.
Yeah, and again, I was about to roast Henry for not having a key to his own house, but like, I think I'm just really old. I totally forgot that there was a time in my life where I just didn't have a house key. I had no way of getting into my home. But I mean, also on the flip side of that, there was a kid in my school who used to wear his house key on a lanyard around his neck, and he got fucking bullied so hard for it, so maybe I was better off. I don't even know why he was bullied for it either. That seems smart. Nice house key, pussy. Keep it in your pocket, right, guys? Kids are so mean, man. It's crazy. Well, and speaking of kids being mean,
Forget it, he's useless.
So useless Henry goes to the bathroom and cries. Fucking been there, brother. This is when Ashley gives him a little pep talk.
You don't want to be the kid crying in the bathroom.
And it works, because she says something that reminds Henry of something huge.
You can't hide in here all night.
That's it. In my backyard, there's a fake rock with a
What's
key
the thought
in
process
inside.
here?
So they now have a way of entering Henry's house, and with that, it was now time for them to escape. And this next scene here is also what made me
What's
want
our
to
thought
talk about
process
this
here?
movie,
What are we
because this
doing?
is like the wildest creative choice I have ever seen in a film.
What's
I
our
think.
thought
So they
process
explained the
here?
plan by showing this storyboard,
What's
which
our
at
thought
first I thought
process
was
here?
a fun way to
Are we
illustrate their
giving
intricate
up?
plan.
Are we
And oh my
pressing on?
god, what the fuck is that? Oh
Are we
god,
pressing
is that
on?
supposed to be Dream Girl, dude? That is Nightmare
Obsidian
Girl.
beam defensive?
Holy shit.
Oh.
It's like that dude who's
He
like
just
in all
trucked
our dreams. Sorry for insulting the artist. I'm sure they were rushed. Sorry. But fuck, that scared me. But no, I thought this was like a cool way to show the plan, right? It makes sense narratively because this is like what it would look like if the kids like drew up a plan. But once the storyboard segment finishes, they've already escaped.
She'll chase him down and leave the exit unprotected.
Yeah, they weren't showing the storyboard segment as like a preview of what the scene is going to look like in real life. That storyboard segment was the scene because they didn't want to film
They
that
just didn't
elaborate
film it.
escape scene. And you know what? Even for a low budget movie, I feel like that shouldn't be allowed, okay? The first time I watched this, I was so confused. I waited like 10 minutes for this escape plan to actually happen. And it never did. Like I thought all this stuff afterwards was like a flashback or something. Like I was so confused. Bold choice to do that, but you know, I'm sure that's the only time it'll happen. So anyway, Stats, he stays at home. So we get a little bike riding montage between Henry, Stink, and Chip. And this little montage is set to the worst song ever made.
We are strong, we are brave, we got the power, not afraid. We are strong,
What?
we are brave, we got the power.
Alright.
What the
Yeah,
fuck?
these lyrics do not line up with what is happening on the screen.
We are strong, we are brave.
That song sounds like it was made by the Jonas Brothers in an alternate reality where they like never became successful.
We got the power.
But sadly, the song abruptly stops when they realize what part of town they're in.
That way takes us past the McGuffin brothers' house.
And this next storyboard segment shows
Not
how
the
mean and
McGuffin
evil
brothers,
the McGuffin
bro.
brothers are. These are the antagonists of the film. They're the neighborhood bullies. They give kids wedgies. They beat people up. This whole movie, they're painted as these like evil, violent maniacs who destroy everything in their path. But the kids decide to take their chances and ride past the McGuffin brothers' house. And guys, this scene is crazy. They pedal past their house, but Henry's shoelace gets caught in one of his bike gears. And there's this crazy nail-biting scene where he crashes onto the front lawn of the McGuffin brothers' house, and then he hears footsteps coming towards him, so he's freaking out. But it turns out the footsteps were just Chip. And guys, I'd love to show you how cool this scene is, but it never fucking happens, okay? We never see it. It's a storyboard again.
Henry was doomed.
It didn't even seem like a difficult shot to film either. Like, I am
healer
so
down?
confused as to why they decided to implement
Concerning.
these storyboard things like so frequently. I mean, again, this is obviously a low-budget film, so they did what they could.
Okay,
and
he
I
on
applaud
good.
them for
We're
that. That's
fine.
great. But like, I'd rather actually like see them try to film these scenes on their budget instead of just animating the storyboard that they made during the production of the film. And it sucks because all the storyboard segments are like the most exciting scenes. Like that's the stuff I actually want to watch. Nothing else barely ever happens in this fucking movie, dude. It's super boring shots of the kids riding their bicycles or walking around, and then the most unbelievable, insane action scene happening on a fucking storyboard. Board, B-O-R-I-D. I'm bored. It's boring. But I mean, it probably saved them a bunch of money and time and stress. It's a creative choice, and they stuck by it. And I respect that. Who knows? Maybe I'll start doing that in my videos one day. As soon as Curtis said that, he heard a knock at his door. He immediately opened his door to find Ellen DeGeneres standing in his
Oh,
doorway.
shit, it's
Curtis was a little
Ellen.
confused, so he asked, "Ellen, what are you doing in my house?" To which she replied, "There's a bomb strapped to my chest, and the code to disarm it is at the bottom of the ocean. I need your help." So, Curtis and Ellen stole
we're gonna
James
just turtle
Cameron's
this.
submarine and made their journey to the
We're gonna
bottom
do
of the
that.
ocean. When they finally made it to the bottom,
'cause he
trapped
would've
in a
done
glass
turtle
cube was the
fucking
real
died.
Ellen DeGeneres begging to be let out. If that's the real Ellen DeGeneres, then who are you? Asked Curtis. The fake Ellen then ripped her disguise off to reveal Daniel Craig. Curtis
Ooh.
muttered under his breath, "Damn, Daniel." The bomb exploded and
I
sent
got
Curtis
that
flying up
reference.
through
I'm
the
about to
ocean and
die,
up into
aren't
the
I?
sky. He soared through the air what felt like days, and finally, he began his descent and flew right through his office window back into his seat
I
where he was
lived,
originally
bitch.
sitting. Did you guys see all that? All right, let's get back to the Stranger Things wannabe. So, immediately
That was a
after
good
that
bit.
huge, stressful scene of them avoiding the MacGuffin brothers, they bump into the MacGuffin brothers. So that whole thing was fucking pointless. It didn't need to happen.
What are you fools doing out of the neighborhood?
But like I said, I'm expecting these two kids to be straight up psychopathic murderers. So let's see what they do.
Training wheels? Get off my bike.
It's super funny to chirp someone's bike and then steal it. What a piece of shit car, dude. I would never be caught dead driving this thing. Get out of the car!
Yeah,
This is a
the
carjacking.
car.
I heard him say he wants to trade bikes.
You know that's not what he said.
Let the air out of your tires. Thanks for the bike, losers.
Okay, so they just traded bikes? I mean, it's not ideal, I guess, but they all still have bike. They just don't have air in the tires, which I feel like is a pretty easy fix, right? I was fully expecting these kids to be like, both be like wielding machetes in each hand and like throwing grenades at these kids, right? What the fuck? So we now cut to the B plot featuring Ashley and this boy who comes over to the house to hang out with her.
I would love to let Parker out of the friend zone, but the thought of holding hands with someone or kissing them gives germophobia to my germophobia.
Yeah, and I guess they made one of the little kids hold the camera for that shot. Because what the fuck is it so shaky? Also, this is one of the scenes where it'd be super funny if the guy could like hear her talking to the camera.
Wait, so
through the door.
multiple characters are doing fourth wall breaks?
Friend zone? What is this, 2009?
If my sister lets her guard down, that nerd could slip out of the friend zone.
They're all doing fourth wall breaks?
I'm gonna nip it. Nip it in the bud.
Okay, yeah, this is a weird part of the movie. Stats doesn't want his sister to have a boyfriend, so he plays a prank where he puts a walkie-talkie behind her and makes fart sounds into the other walkie-talkie with a balloon. You know, just like Stranger Things. Also, just not a fart sound at all.
That
That sounds like how I imagine a gnome would sound. Is that the prank? To make him think that she has gnomes? Hey bro, you wanna hang out tonight?
But I thought you were hanging out with that girl.
Yeah, dude, I was, but get this. She has gnomes.
Oh, no!
I know! Alright, back to the main plot. They stop at a park to fart. And then Chip and Stink go into their secret hideout. But we're not allowed to see what it looks like just yet, okay? They're saving that till the end of the movie. They then fill up their bike tires in town while they talk about a girl they all like.
She likes some pretty boy, you know, who has the personality of a potato.
Just like the movies.
Except for in the movies, you know, the hot girl likes the nice guy in the end. It's not like that in real life.
Oh no, no. Oh no.
They're
Chicks
incels,
are
bro.
Oh, that's devastating. Girls literally never go for the nice guys like me. So back at the
They're
house, Stats is sitting in the
incels,
room
bro.
laughing at fart sounds. And I hate to say it, but this is literally me when I edit my videos. But while Stats is playing the audio track, Ashley's friend overhears it, and he thinks it's them talking about the Blue Shadow.
The Blue Shadow.
And he want to watch it a movie, so he bursts into the room. So now they know that the kids escaped. But again, he really want to watch it a movie, so he offers to drive them over to Henry's house.
Does he really have a copy of The Blue Shadow?
That's what he says.
I can take you to get it.
Meanwhile, Henry and the other guys need to make it over the gate to get into his gated neighborhood, even though there's a huge opening with no gate. If they just walk a little bit to the left, but hey, maybe we'll get a cool scene out of it. Who knows?
The boys sprinted.
Come on,
Chip was in the lead, with Stink in a close second.
Enough of these, man. Show the things actually happening, dude.
He flew through the air past the closing gate.
All right, sorry, I'm getting a little too worked up. So they finally make it to Henry's house and they find his house key.
Found it. It's amazing.
What?
You know, I felt bad earlier when they called him useless.
An
but
incredible
they were
contrivance,
100%
to be
right,
sure.
dude. This kid is a fucking lost cause.
It's gone.
So yeah, the key is lost now. So they have to come up with a backup plan, which is to repel Henry off the roof with a hose and then swing him into his bedroom window. Sounds pretty cool, right? Well, we'll never see it, because you guessed it. They show that scene with another storyboard animation.
Oh,
brother,
this guy stinks!
This is insane. And it sucks because I
Terrible
feel like
time
this
for the
movie would
game
have
to
been a lot of
crash.
fun if they actually tried to film these scenes. And you can say what you want about Stranger Things, but they would never do
I
this.
guess that's
that
what happened,
super
right?
suspenseful scene.
By flying into that building, I activated Blizzard's "you can't do shenanigans" thing, even though I was just flying, bro.
In the
Leave
fourth
me
season of
alone.
Stranger Things, where Max is floating with Running Up That Hill playing. If that scene was just concept art
and drawings, dude, there'd be rioting in the streets. And I know Stranger Things had a much bigger budget than the Sneakover, and it's absolutely not fair to compare the two, but also at the same time, I feel like they kind of lost that privilege of not being compared to Stranger Things when they use the exact same fucking branding and layout and logo pretty much as Stranger Things.
Your mom!
But anyways, they make it into a house, they play another storyboard animation of him just running down the stairs to turn the alarm off, and then Henry walks out of the house proud as hell with the blue shadow in hand. I gotta say, very funny to be that confident after fucking literally everything up all day. So things are finally looking up until the MacGuffin brothers show up and steal the VHS tape.
We have the blue shadow.
You can't have that! You can't have that!
Nice try, guys. Fuck, really thought that was gonna work.
You can't have that!
The fuck? They're still riding away. All right, we're almost at the end of the movie, I promise. This is the final showdown coming up. This is just like Elle and the gang getting ready to confront the Demigorgon at the end of season 1 of Stranger Things. Except it's nothing like that at all. They devise a plan to steal the tape back from the MacGuffin brothers, but they're all pretty scared.
You know we're gonna die, right?
Again, I have no idea why these kids are so scared of the MacGuffin brothers. The worst thing they've done is trade bikes. So, the worst thing that can happen, they trade bikes again? Oh no, you got your bike back. What the fuck? So their plan involves Ashley distracting the brothers, and this part is super funny because this actor didn't say anything in this scene, like I don't think he was supposed to, but for some reason they got that kid to like ADR a line afterwards, but they also like didn't cut away in the edit. So now there's just a line of dialogue coming from this character without his mouth moving at all.
Thank you, Jesus.
Unless I'm misunderstanding what's going on here. Maybe this is like a high art that I don't understand, but I have no clue how that made it into the final cut. And speaking of things that shouldn't have made it into the final cut of this film, this plan also features Stink farting into a hose that's being fed into the MacGuffin brothers' house. And it's by far the worst thing I've ever seen.
What the hell?
This kid is giving the performance of his career, but like, bro, and that's coming from me. I think farts are hilarious, but you know, there's definitely a line, okay, and they crossed it. So after another really long storyboard animation that shows Henry grabbing the tape out of their hands, jumping off of their roof and biking away from them, Henry ends up getting trapped in their secret hideout from earlier. And guys, now we finally get to see what it looks like inside.
There was a mismatch of worn-out furniture, movie posters, comics, action figures for decoration, boxes, candy wrappers, and soda bottles.
Sounds awesome. Wish I could see it. Also, guys, did they just get one of their grandpas to do this?
Boxes, candy wrappers, and soda bottles litter the floor.
The most monotone, sleepy voiceover with like no music or anything. I love it, dude. I love it. But no, dude, show the clubhouse, man. Show it. Show me to me, please.
Send it to me, Rachel.
All right, so a bunch of other bullshit happens, and they all end up coming face to face for a final showdown.
Where's your sister? How do you look like a total Dorcas? And she looks like such a dream girl.
Bro, how is your sister so gorgeous, you fucking pussy? Whoa, so they're scrapping. Also, yo, it'd be so funny if like right now they whipped out all the Stranger Things stuff. In the middle of the fight, Henry just put out his hand out of nowhere and was like...
The MacGuffin's reign of terror was over, and they were defeating the MacGuffin brothers.
Okay, so the message of this movie is... jump your bullies. And I mean, hey, is this movie's message a conga line?
Pick a fight and then win the fight.
That.
Great lesson.
Sorry, guys. We're almost done the movie, I promise.
That's my boy. Henry's dad emerged like a gunslinger.
A gunslinger, yeah. Yeah, so Henry's dad shows up and he shoots the MacGuffin brothers.
Hell yeah, dude.
But anyways, this showdown
sick
ends
as
with
hell.
Henry giving one of the MacGuffin brothers a big wedgie. And with that, they promise to leave the kids alone forever.
And that was the last time the MacGuffin brothers ever terrorized the neighborhood.
The dad then lets Henry take the blue shadow back to the sleepover, and they rush to make it back home before Stat's parents get back. There's another fucking storyboard animation, of course, and they make it back just in time.
But they never get to actually watch the movie.
When your friend doesn't give you a pillow at the sleepover. All right, so they watch the blue shadow. It's awesome. And the next morning, Henry finally gets his nickname.
Nice move, cheese.
They then watch the blue shadow again, and Henry watches it the same way I watch my own videos, and they all become best friends, and they go to Henry's house for a sleepover.
I forgot the movie.
Classic cheese.
And that's it. That was the sneakover. In terms of movies that I've covered on this channel, it really wasn't that bad. I feel like it had some charm to it. I feel like if I watched this as a little kid, I probably would have laughed at the farts and stuff. But to me, the cardinal sin in this film was putting in all those storyboard animations and concept art when they could have just filmed the actual scenes. I know their budget was small, but like I said earlier, I would much rather see a filmmaker get creative within the budget they have, other than doing these like lazy animations after the fact. But that's just me. And oh yeah, the other cardinal sin. Can there be two cardinal sins? I don't know. For this one there is, okay? The other cardinal sin is them just blatantly copying the Stranger Things logo and branding. 100%. You can't do that, okay? And I think I'm extra mad about it because it worked on me. I fucking fell for it. I was like, oh, this could be like Stranger Things. Looking at the cover, you're expecting some like supernatural elements and a little bit of spooky imagery because you assume it's going to be a cheap knockoff of Stranger Things. But after taking the time to watch it, and really giving it a chance, by the end of the movie, you'll wish it was a cheap knockoff of Stranger Things. And I know marketing a low-budget movie is very difficult, but I kind of just wish they did their own thing. And I found one like alternate poster cover for this movie. It was great. It like had their own sort of vibe to it. It was more comic booky, right? Like the storyboard animations and stuff. But you know what? Go support the movie. Go buy it, rent it, watch it, support it, and watch it with your friends.
Yeah,
I
why
feel
not,
like
dude?
You'll have a good laugh. And while researching this movie, I stumbled upon a pretty deep rabbit hole
Sorry
of
about
movies
that. Has
use
been
this similar
called.
marketing tactic. These types of movies are called mockbusters. Their movie might not be related to the piece of media they're copying, but they steal the established design elements from that piece of media to sort of like trick people into thinking that is also that same piece of media. Video from a channel called Be Amazed covered a lot of these films like Triassic World, Metal Man, Transmorphers, Top Gunner. There's an endless amount, which is crazy to think there's like a whole ecosystem out there like that. This is like the Hollywood equivalent of like uploading a YouTube video and then putting other YouTubers' names in the description of that video so your video shows up when they search that YouTuber's name. There's a whole world of these movies, so let me know if you'd want a video about that, because I think that could be pretty fun. And yeah, also like this video if you enjoyed it. Because also, believe it or not, one like equals one Hellfire Club t-shirt that I will burn. Also, press the subscribe button, because as soon as you do, you become a valued citizen of Curtistown, okay? If you didn't know, Curtistown, it's the best place to live in the whole world. And I'm the mayor of Curtistown, so you have to be nice to me. It's the law. All right, yeah, come see me in Australia, New Zealand. We just announced a second Melbourne show because the first one sold out. All right, that's it. Unfortunately, I would stick around, but Ellen DeGeneres is at my door, so see you later.
Melbourne.
Crowd control. Dispel.
Please don't aggro the boss. Please don't aggro the boss. They aggro the boss.
Watch your step.
Yep, yeah, it was gonna happen. I giga called it. Monday night is definitely a vibe. But I'm a sick freak that's having a good time. So, what else is there to say? Let's see here. It needs to be something quick if we're going to watch something. Because this is certainly... Yeah, if there's no tank in range of the boss, he just spams that and everybody dies. And unfortunately, I'm included among everybody.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird. It's like, killing kids sucks. You had to do it, though. Like, I don't know. What can you do? What can you say?
What can you do?
So now we're getting into
the main event.
Main event took us an hour and 50 minutes to get into.
Holy
we're like
shit.
real streamers. They're like fucking wasting your time.
I don't know how we're going to do this.
So what we're doing is we are doing a tier list of political assassinations from around the world.
We're going to do the best political assassinations of all time.
Yeah.
And that can mean a lot of things. It could be like, really well pulled off, really unique, or it could just mean the ones that we align with politically the most. The people who we love to see dead. Or can we do that on Twitch?
I don't know if you should have said that. I thought you were going somewhere else and you kind of twisted it into
No, I was just doing a broad, like, here are all the things we're judging it on.
Yes, but it could be for comedic value.
Yeah.
It could be for
I don't think we can
just
still
like,
time
Okay,
this.
it's not about.
Alas.
We don't want any of these people. There's
No,
no
of
one.
course
Obviously
not.
not. There's no.
Alas and alack and anon and on.
What did they do to deserve that? It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But it's just like, you know, there's a lot of...
Come on, Rashanan. Why you gotta be like that, bro? Why you gotta be like that, Rashanan?
Wait, do we exclude the Trump one? Are we
No,
doing,
that has to be in it. Because
no,
that
we
is-
do successful assassination attempt.
Oh, but...
You want to put in failed ones?
Yeah, I think we go...
Okay, we're going to be here all day.
We're gonna be here all day.
We've got all day.
Okay.
Strong stuff.
We've got all
Man, there's
day.
some fucking good ones.
Okay, who do you want to start with?
I mean, we can start with Franz Ferdinand, because that is...
Well,
my
first-
ancestors did that, actually.
Well,
I
why
remember
don't
my
you
family.
stop? Because I'm going to fact
He's a
check
little bit
the
too
fucking
proud of
election on
that.
this, 'cause he
He's a
likes to make
little
up
bit too
stupid
proud
shit
of
all the
that.
time. And he told me...
Tank's hitting us with the mob heads.
Dear Nan, you're not going to find my ancestor that way. My ancestor, Ljubomir Vulovic, was second in charge of the Black Hand under Apis, who no one knew who that was.
Yeah.
So he was the only... He's the top-ranked named person was related to me.
Yep.
And he was executed for the assassination of Franz Ferdinand. Black Hand kind of coordinated through a cutout group called Young Bosnia.
What was his last name?
Vulovic.
His last name was...
Is my last name.
Great. Now we know Alexa's full legal name.
I'm saying every single Vulovic is superhuman. Also, it took 17 fucking bullets to kill him.
Kill your relative.
Yep.
No.
And
Don't bop.
the other one jumped out of a plane and
The
survived.
man
What I'm saying is
says-
that we are indestructible.
This is a Rasputin story. Did he also have the biggest penis and he seduced all the
Not the
Tsars'
biggest,
wives?
but the same size as mine. So like pretty extraordinary.
Pretty small.
I can tell this story with family history.
Yeah, but obviously this is a very important
That's
assassination.
I would say this is S tier because it changed the world.
It did change the world, but was it going to happen anyway, regardless
Yes.
of his assassination?
I think so
That's
as well.
what I think.
Like
is the problem,
but
with
it might have kicked off in a different way, and that might have also changed the way it ended, the way the World War ended.
Yeah.
But
also
as
great
it stands,
band.
yeah,
Great band,
yeah, great
good
band.
music as
Kicked
well.
off, yeah, very historically significant. Not just started a world war and changed like the international order. It also created a nice band.
Nice band. People
Because
got
I think if
laid
he didn't
to
get
his
assassinated,
songs.
absolutely no way that English band would have named themselves Franz Ferdinand.
No.
Absolutely no way. The Archduke, fucking not even the guy, like just some random piece of shit.
Exactly.
Also, completely deserved.
So who was
completely deserved?
Completely deserved? Was this the man who shot him?
That's him. He shot.
This is the man that shot him.
Gabriel Princip. So the story, I don't know if you're aware. So Austria had annexed Bosnia.
Okay.
They were just like, you're part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. I don't care what anyone here thinks. Forget about it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Obviously, people living there were really upset, and there was a group called Mlada Bosna, which is Young Bosnia.
Yep.
So like these youth radicals that wanted, I guess, Yugoslav unity. They didn't want to be separated by being controlled by
I
different
can't
empires.
wait
They
until
wanted one
next
state
season,
where all
having the
Yugoslavs lived, and
Priory
this was
in the M plus
group
rotation.
made up of ethnic Serbs
That's gonna be
and
fucking
Bosnian
awesome.
Muslims, getting together to try to get rid of the Austro-Hungarian control of their country, of Bosnia.
Yep.
Anyway, so he was coming to Franz Ferdinand was coming to kind of pay a state visit
need
and also
forces.
mainly to oversee and be there for military exercises because the Austrians were flexing how fucking powerful they were and the fact that they were going to run over the rest of Eastern Europe, the rest of the Balkans, and bring it all under control of Austria-Hungary. So anyway, piece of shit.
Let's go down and
he was meant to be
get some of that
less
trash.
intense than his uncle, who was the leader or the leader. He was like meant to be trying to like work with the ethnic minorities to kind of like come to a understanding where Austria-Hungary's still in charge of them, but maybe there's a few more freedoms. But these guys wouldn't tolerate that. They're like, we want our own fucking country. Get the fuck out of here. So they plan out this assassination in Sarajevo, in Bosnia.
Oh, we've got
the thing is, it all went wrong.
We've got
Didn't
add-ons.
he miss him and then he just randomly stumbled upon him later?
So they had a bunch of guys, right, around the town that were aware of this plot. And one guy went to shoot him and he missed. And so they changed their course. They were like, okay, this is compromised. So the Archduke Franz Ferdinand's trip through Sarajevo was changed. So we went to a random way. And this fucking Gabriel Princip guy was not even, didn't even realize he was at a fucking like restaurant ordering food and he noticed that it was passing by him.
Let's
and he's like,
go
oh, shit,
get our
she's my
loot.
tent. And he throws a fucking bomb in the car.
It was a bomb?
I think so.
I thought he
Or maybe
shot
one
him.
of them threw it. Maybe the first guy threw a bomb and that got knocked off and just killed random people.
So let's save the image.
No, why don't we say we can just copy it? We can just drag it in. I think everything about this is S tier.
Someone just said, I just looked it up and Alexa was 100% lying. About what?
Right, click on it. Let's see.
Bro named bomb first, then gun. That's not Alexa lying.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. I corrected myself.
Alexa lied. Franz Ferdinand died.
All right, you're going back in the chat.
Yeah, he shot him, and I think he shot his wife. So he was aiming for the. They also had like the general.
You do look a little bit like him.
Like Franz Ferdinand. I'm not related to him.
No, but you do.
That's so insulting.
All right.
But anyway, a member of my family was executed by firing squad in Serbia.
Well,
because of.
A part of me
his
does
fucking
want to
high
do
up
one
status in
more,
this organization that
so
was
I can have 2
responsible
upgrades
for-
worth of crests.
Well, they were like the parent organization to the organization that had done this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But I gotta be a little smarter than
Dragomir
that.
Vulovic, there you go. That's his name. Maybe you can look him up.
Because I keep staying up a little bit too late. I keep making that mistake. I keep staying up a little bit too late. But so much for the first patch. Excuse me. So much for the first patch of The War Within. That's it. That's a wrap. That's 8 weeks. That's what World of Warcraft does now. They put out new content every 8 weeks. And that's tomorrow. Now, you might be thinking, oh, will you be live at an earlier time tomorrow? Not bloody likely. I will likely be live at my usual time, very likely for Raid. So we can do our usual heroic farm. That's probably what's going to happen. Because it's been a minute since I got out of work early. If anything, I'll probably have to stay late again. But this was good. I had a really good time. That was 4 untimed Mythic Plus dungeons. But that's a better conversion as far as wait time to Mythic Dungeons than I was getting prior to when I got this rating. And I don't much care for Tyrannical Weeks, and I don't much care for Oblivion. So I'm hopeful that tomorrow, it being a fortified week, although fortified doesn't matter, and you get up to 10s, because in 10s you have to deal with both. But nevertheless, if the affix is a good affix, and fortified is the primary modifier, I think we can run up some 10s. It really does come down to the affix, and I don't really like this one. It's not a bad affix per se. Ugh. There's that yawn that tells you it's about sleepy time. It's not a bad affix per se, but I basically have to rely on other people to do it, because the way the orbs come in, I'm out at range. So if they aren't like in my little pie slice of where we're fighting, it's up to the melee to circle strafe around and make sure none of the mobs get hit with the orbs and get buffed. Would have been nice to have timed a single key tonight. That's kind of a shocking bummer that we depleted literally all 4 keys. But that is kind of what you get on Monday nights. That is kind of what you get. Yeah, with these back-to-back-to-back yawns, very clear indicator that we're going to have to call it there. Very clear indicator. but I had a really great night, and I've been enjoying lately how we've been ending every stream with a little kitty break. So what the hey? Let's do that. Let's let the kitties in and wrap things up with some kitties. And of course, the daughter of lightning is the first across the threshold. That's one baby. Athos is very fascinated by how the mic stand works. And who can blame her? It is interesting. When it makes that noise when I tighten it, she's like, ooh, what's that? That is the end of the mix. So we'll just have it pick back up from a random spot. Hey, sweet girl. You want to give one of your siblings a turn? Daughter of lightning. I love how they're all lovey-dovey in their own ways. What are you sniffing? What are you sniffing? Sweet little Athos. You may not be the fluffiest, or the toughest, or the whiniest, but you are the sleekest, and you are the fastest. And none of your siblings are as fast as you, little Athos. And unlike Porthos, you give me gentle little kisses that don't hurt me at all. You should talk to your brother about that, you know. should talk to him about that. Oh, sweet little kisses. That's why I'm hesitant to say any one of them is more or less affectionate than the other. They're all affectionate in their own way, in their own time. Just because she doesn't love being held like a little baby, although she does purr while I do it, so... I thought I could lift up that leg to get her into frame, but she instead was like, well, what are you doing? Stop trying to get me in frame, you're the streamer. I'm just here to enjoy this lap. I'm here to enjoy the lap and have a seat, Wigglepuss. Have a seat, Wigglepuss. She reminds me so much of Rosencrantz when she was young. Very sleek. Very nosy, but in a sweet way. Or those. Please don't wrestle with my so much, D'Artagnan. That's your sister. Complaining. That's what she does best. We love her. D'Artagnan's had enough of being held like a little baby. What about you, Aramis? Are you ready for your turn to be held like a little baby? Whee! It's your turn to be held like a little baby. It's your turn. Do you remember our sign off from the other night, Aramis? Remember our sign off? You want to do it with me? You want to do it with me? Or do you want to get down? He asked, knowing the answer. You want to do it with me? Put you down. But yeah, just a fun little bit of the kitties to close out on. My mic stand keeps going nuts. But shout out to Disjoint for being in the chat when we went live 2 streams in a row. That always puts me in a really great mood. And just shout out to all my supporters that make the stream possible. I always have so much fun coming online and playing some World of Warcraft and cuddling my kitties. And so I'll be back tomorrow for the 0.5 patch, for the 20th anniversary content. There's going to be a lot to do. And so we're going to be back. We're going to be raiding. We're going to be doing Mythic Plus. We're going to be working on alts. We're going to be doing the anniversary content. We're going to be doing all that stuff. And maybe, hopefully, I'll soon be able to unveil some of my new channel flair, starring these sweet babies as Yeremi finally has my lap all to herself, so she can be both off camera and scritched by both hands. She's having the time of her life. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow, likely before 7. Hey, Milf and Cookies, welcome. We are wrapping up the stream, but I didn't want to end the stream without a little bit of a kitty moment, so I've been giving the Musketeers a little bit of airtime. I hope you were there to be able to see that. They are no longer compliant for that, so definitely check out the VOD if you want to see my sweet kitten babies. That's the agreement. They each agree to let me hold them like a whittle baby on stream, and then in return they get some food after that happens. And so they've all done their turns, and now with the exception of Yeremi purring in my lap, the other 3 are presently staring at me.
I want to cast a spell.
Ooh, thank you for the follow, Milf and Cookies. Very kind of you. Welcome to the Deke fam. If you want to join us for the stream tomorrow, I'll be beginning the stream at about 6:45 Pacific Standard Time, because our raid for Heroic starts at 7. Porthos, you do not need to dig your claws into my shin while I'm outroing. That's not productive. So I'll be back tomorrow, 6:45. Yes, and in fact, I'm actually ending the stream a little bit earlier than usual. My usual stream hours are 7 p.m. until 1 a.m. 6 days a week. So you caught me as I'm trying to be a good boy and not stay up quite so late and end my stream a little bit early. And I could have ended it sooner if it weren't for these adorable little babies. Porthos, I know the deal is I give you food. Can you please be chill? Here, let's show you to our new follower, Porthos. Porthos, you being a little rascal? Me boy, you being a little rascal? You being a little rascal? Yeah. Yes. How about you? You want to come say hi to my new follower? This is the one that was napping in my lap when you got here. They are, of course, named after the 4 characters in the 3 Musketeers. This little nerd is Yeremi. And she is definitely the most willing to be held like a little baby. So she's the most willing to say hi to you. Hello, hello. But if you were to ask me who the golden child is, that would be D'Artagnan. That would be the brave and intrepid D'Artagnan. She's certainly the fluffiest, and it's stiff competition. So I try and give the kitties generous airtime on the stream. You know, if I'm oh, Milf and Cookies, you are so kind. I'm afraid I'm actually pushing 40. I'm like right there. I'm 39. So, but I thank you for the compliment, for calling me 30. Look at this golden child. Look at this golden child. This one's Athos. She's the fastest. She's the daughter of lightning. And even though it looks like she's pushing against me, I can assure you, can you hear her purring? Can you purr into the mic for me, honey? She's definitely purring. We can verify that. But yes, I figured since you dropped by and dropped the follow, I might have noise suppression on. I'll confess I don't know exactly how this mic works. All I know is that my voice sounds better on this mic than it did on the Blue Yeti, so I will take it. But I figured since you were kind enough to drop the follow, I would introduce you to the Musketeers, since they are quite literally what this stream supports. I can confirm that 100% of all stream revenue has gone to feeding these sweet little babies. As well it should. And so yes, when I return tomorrow for the 0.5 launch, there will certainly be heroic rating, maybe AOTC tomorrow. That'd be pretty sick. Then we'll probably do some Mythic Plus after raid, but we might do some of the new anniversary content. Yes, I'm outroing. The food is coming, I promise. The food is coming, I promise. Yeah, the food is coming. So, since we are in the same time zone, Milf and Cookies, I look forward to seeing you in the chat later on. The only day that I don't stream is Sunday. So feel free to catch me here at twitch.tv/thedeacons 6 days a week between 7 p.m. and 7 p.m. and midnight PST. I am trying. I'm trying so hard. When you have a fucked up sleep schedule, the hardest thing in the world is to fix it. So I am trying to not stream until 1:30, 2, as I sometimes do. So that starts tonight. We've got to fix it tonight. But wonderful you dropped in at the end, Milf and Cookies. I'm going to go feed my Musketeers and call it a night there. But since you tuned in, thank you very, very much for tuning in. And you have a great night.